That dude hates a lot of things, I've noticed.
I just switched over, and you said that exactly as I switched over.
Do they know who I was talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. You're just commenting on how you hate the P1 opening.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, damn.
As whatever.
The good news is I hate it too, so don't worry.
I'm not the biggest fan of it. Well, it's more so it's just the P1 PSP soundtrack. It just doesn't fit. It just don't fit. It's people have talked about it to death. It's one of those things where it's like you tried to jerry rig a different feel onto a game that had a very specific feel to it, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, because it's like it wasn't. Well, yeah, you basically said it right there. It's like it tried to go with the current style, and it just didn't really work.
Yeah. Real quick, before we really get into it, I'm noticing there's like a black bar above your little character. Is there something?
You know what? That's the window. That's the window. So
is it?
Fix that. Yeah. Hang on. Let me see. I can't go here.
Yes. He has Boyds. He has Boyds.
Yeah. So I wanna say, like, if it gets really annoying, just say the word, and I will switch back to the other mic because this bird is gonna keep on going. But I remember when people were talking about my Xbox 360 mic, like, hey, yeah, no, let him chirp. So I was like, okay. But I don't want, if it annoys people, I don't want to have it be like that. But if it gets annoying, yeah, y'all just say the word.
It's really cool.
I'm trying to find fucking
cool Boyds.
It is cool Boyds. How the fuck do I get rid of this? I can't remember how I did it. I straight up, I can't remember how I did it. Like, oh shit, wait. No. You know what? No, we can keep the
keep the black bar. Got it.
This is the black bar episode. So
we'll do it live.
No,
we'll do it live. Fuck it.
We'll do it live. I did see that video recommended to me the other day, and I was like,
"It's old.
What a blast from the
It's
past.
Old gold.
It really is.
That's gonna be one of those things that's just around forever.
What a symbol, though. Am I right?
No, seriously.
Jesus Christ.
Well, anyway,
can we get into the shit? Because I really want to talk about the first one.
Yeah. First off, just to be, I guess, just quick about it. It's been like a month. Lots been happening. I spent a lot of money today. I bought a new chair. I bought a new desk. Desk should be getting here next week. I don't want to spend any more money right now.
Why not?
I spent like $400, I think.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll fucking do it.
Yeah, I don't like it. But it's the sort of thing where it's like Black Friday deals kicked in, and if I want new stuff, this would be the time. I want to change up my office and what furniture I got. Now's the time.
Right. I mean, is the new chair going to be comfy, you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. At the very least, it's going to breathe better than my current one. My current one is faux leather, whereas this one is mesh.
And that's the important thing, right?
Yeah. Making sure it's comfy and breathes. It's all good.
I'm going to be sweating all damn day.
Yeah. Anyway, how is everyone doing? Yeah, I say only 400, but it's probably more. That's just kind of a guesstimation. I really don't know between like tax and everything.
He would have bought the $600 chair, but essentially he just didn't want to go that hog wild with it. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
It was just small purchase. But
yeah, small purchase of $1 million.
Just $1 million chair. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing on the list,
which first off, just is kind of like something I want to experiment with. I know what the problem is. I forgot to add the audio to the scene. Give me a moment. I'm gonna switch it back over, and I'll add it. I can't hear you now, buddy.
That's okay.
Oh, I hear you now.
Okay, good.
Okay, hold on. Let me add the audio to the scene. Sorry.
Change broke the fucking audio, dude. And I still can't get this black bar away from my thing. This is a glorious day. This is a truly glorious day.
Glorious day. Okay, they should be able to hear us now.
Okay, hello.
Can you guys hear us?
Okay, now can you still hear us?
I'm gonna take it back to the thing, to the Google Doc, the docket.
Seems like we're good.
Basically, I set up this scene so that you guys can see the news as we're talking about it.
Yeah. Nice little adage there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool. So, first things first. Crunchyroll committed a federal crime.
Yeah, so...
And it's like the pettiest federal crime.
It actually is kind of nuts that they even thought they could get away with this.
Yeah? No, this is insane.
This is actually really nuts.
So, basically, this voice actor, David Wald, he is an actor who's been in a couple of different things. Seems like he hasn't tweeted in the last month or so, basically ever since this news came out. He's played a couple of different characters. I'm actually not sure. I'm trying to remember. I can't think of any roles off the top of my head that he's played.
I didn't look him up after this.
I've seen his name before. I'm gonna look him up.
I could do it right now. Yeah. Okay. David Wald. Yeah, but essentially, I mean, I didn't know the full extent of what happened, but apparently they were deleting his private emails or something like that?
No, so what it was is whenever they want to send mail, whenever someone wants to send like fan mail to someone, what they apparently there's this setup where they can someone can send the mail to Crunchyroll or to, I guess, Funimation, RIP, depending on who you ask. Yeah. You can send it to them, and they can pass it along to the voice actor. I guess I don't fully understand this system. It seems like this is kind of what I'm able to kind of like parse out. But basically, this guy was sent fan mail, and Crunchyroll wasn't actually giving him the mail. Rather, what was happening, oh, that's the wrong button. What was happening is, rather than giving it to him, they opened his mail, threw away the letters, and then any items that was in the letter was just given to employees.
Which is fucking insane.
So, for people who don't know, actually, yeah, Victor, you're right. That is actually a very, like, safe practice. Send it to the company, and the company can pass it along, as opposed to, simply just, you know, sending it straight to the actor who might not know any better.
Then there's Crunchyroll.
Well, then there's Crunchyroll.
Okay, we're gonna like totally just take all the stuff that you got for your performance,
and then we'll
give it to the employees because they work really hard.
So it sounds like what it is any employees that took something, they didn't know this was sent and intended for Mr. Wald. This seems to have been someone in the like management who made this decision and just put the items out on a desk, in which they will put out a lot of like different things, and then people can just kind of come along and like just take it. They can just take it if they want. It seems to be just a little like whatever the hell they wanted. Whatever, if you see something on this desk you want, go for it. So it seems like management just didn't give him his letters and instead just put the items out on the desk for anyone to take.
Which is absolutely ridiculous, especially when in the email body it likely said, "Hey, this is such a cool performance you did. Here, have this."
Mm-hmm.
And then the employees are just like, "You mean we can have this?" And then they took it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if you can, like, it depends on who read the emails. That probably, I doubt the employees even knew they were taking
No,
stuff that wasn't supposed to be for them.
they were probably just like, oh, this is something out on the desk. Anyone can take it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's just like it can be like anything from like candy to like $10. It's not right at all. And yeah, it's a federal crime. It's like, no,
No,
not good.
yeah,
There's no world where this works.
that's the thing. That's the thing. If for anyone who might not know, they might be in another country, or maybe they are just not aware of U.S. mail laws. But taking someone else's mail and especially taking their mail and then taking the stuff that was in the mail, that is a federal crime.
Yeah.
Oh,
so tell me if that's
technically that wasn't a federal crime. The letters got to an endpoint. Actually, that.
Wait, we got new info. We got some new info going.
Well, Proto Zero is saying it was sent to. Am I a little loud? I'll turn it down some. Sorry, I tend to go loud.
My gain as well, so.
I tend to go loud just because whenever I'm on stream, people tend to say I'm too quiet. So I just kind of go safer. So I can turn.
Yeah, there's never a perfect balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so Proto makes a decent point. The mail actually was sent to Crunchyroll. It was sent to them. It was intended for Mr. Wald, but it did technically get to the destination it was supposed to.
Right, so it's not like lawfully a crime, but it's just fucked,
it's
right?
the sort of thing where I feel like maybe you can make a point that it might not be a federal crime, but ultimately I still think Mr. Wald could sue. He could absolutely sue. I'm sure there's probably something about like companies cannot take their employee mail, even if it was sent to them in the company.
I played Ace Attorney, but I have no opinion on this, and I'm not really sure what would hold up in a court of law. But I will say, that's fucked.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting behavior regardless.
That's fucked.
So in the follow-up, he made that initial post, because he's apparently been aware of this for a couple of months. Here's a picture of him posting John Kent kissing his really boring boyfriend.
Okay.
I'm glad he posted that. Anyway.
No, thank God.
I think I went a little too far back. Anyway, yeah, he posted that, hey, Crunchyroll screwed me over, and he was talking with people, explaining a bunch of stuff, and then he posted, these were specifically items he is aware of that was taken from him, that was sent to him and did not make it, and Crunchyroll just gave it out to people. It's the sort of thing where if I saw that, if I was just working there and I saw this, I also probably wouldn't think anything, thinking this was intended for any one person. Though a number of this you can also clearly tell a lot of it this is fan made.
Mm-hmm.
So that might still be suspicious, but yeah, it's just really shitty. It's really shitty, and apparently he just hasn't heard anything. Crunchyroll won't respond. They won't get back in touch with him. This is just
that is just not a good look. I don't understand why you wouldn't say anything, even like try to maybe, I don't know, play it off as something else, like
release a statement,
something like that. I don't know.
It's just like a very easy, like, as soon as you find out about it, just should, I feel like you should say something. Oh, is he the guy who said that bitches and bros and non-binary hoes?
That one, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, that explains all the fan mail, because that was a great line.
Yeah. yeah, it's just like I really don't think there's any other way to put it. This is just criminal. This is awful. Fuck Jesus Christ, Crunchyroll. I don't know what more there is
Yeah,
to say. It's just like, what the hell?
because like at the moment, it's like there are other like mitigating factors that can obviously be brought around to light, but nothing else has been said other than what David Wald has said. And
Hmm.
what David Wald has said is damning enough in the essence that like his claim is that they just they did the whole thing where they read the emails, that they pass the letters along to the who they're intended to go to, in this case the voice actor, and then they take it and then just distribute it among their staff, which yes, the staff surely deserves something, but not something that was intended for someone else. It just doesn't make any sense, but that's all
Hmm.
we've got to work on, and at the moment that's really all that can be said about it.
Hmm. No,
So that's obviously,
yeah, yeah. No, it's really awful. It's really awful, and it's really gross that that it happened, and hopefully Mr. Wald gets it out and he gets some kind of compensation or whatever. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Also, what Proto said, I heard about that recently. Did we have that on the docket? Because I do want to talk
I
about that.
don't think so. I could pull it up. I could pull it up.
We could just insert it now if we
Actually,
want to as
we could
well.
insert it now because the very next story is also about Sony.
Okay, because that's what I just said. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that actually what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Sorry, I thought you
I'm
meant
just
we could
fucking.
just. I thought you meant like we could just talk about that now and get it over with. And then I was like, oh, we could actually, if we did it now, it would lead into the next story. So
Oh yeah, okay. So you're adding. All right, you win this round. You
I
win this round.
misunderstood. I think we
That's
whatever,
it. I'm fucking
whatever.
right. Mac, I'm gonna kill you later. So essentially, yeah, they're gonna buy out Katakawa, or they're gonna try to. And Katakawa, if any of y'all know anything about like anime and Japanese media, you've probably seen Katakawa, and they also own a portion of FromSoft, big portion
That's
of From Software.
that's the
That's the big
big thing
headline.
everyone's talking about right now is the
That's the
fact
big
that
headline.
Sony could by proxy be buying FromSoft.
Yeah, now instead of just sitting on Bloodborne, they can sit on every single Souls ever. Like they can
Hmm.
just do that, and it's you know, not good.
Yeah.
So
So one in all the news that I've seen about this over the last like what 24 hours, 48 hours, it's
I'd say
fairly
24,
recent.
48.
It's
Yeah.
fairly recent news.
Uh-huh.
Um, I do know Kadokawa released a statement saying that, uh, basically confirming that Sony has contacted them about a potential buyout. Um, but we'll just have to see where that goes. Past
Yeah.
that, one thing I am also seeing. One thing I want to say. A number of people have been talking about what this means because Sony, PlayStation buying FromSoft, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of missing the forest for the trees, where they're focusing so much on this one specific thing that they're missing the actual bigger picture, which is Kadokawa owns a shit ton of animes and anime studios, and
Yeah.
Sony owns Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll already blatantly has a monopoly on the anime industry in the West.
It's
This
insane.
would only make it worse.
That's
This
what.
would,
Yeah. That's exactly it. Right. Is like it already own monopolies are already happening a lot in media, and this is just yet another one, which Sony, like you said, already owns Crunchyroll, and therefore would own a lot of like access to anime and manga. So owning Katakawa would just be just nuts. That's just insane that there's no market there. There's no competition. It'd just be all under one umbrella,
mm-hmm,
and they would still be sitting on everything that FromSoft would have made. So
mm-hmm.
that's cool. But
Yeah.
no, I hope to God it does not go through.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Obviously, this is, dealing a lot with Japanese laws, and I don't know a lot. I mean, I barely understand a lot of American laws. I know enough about American laws to understand that taking someone's mail and passing out the items is not good, but I know even less about Japanese laws and like what kind of anti-monopoly, antitrust laws they would have. So hopefully this does not go through, because I can only see this is the sort of thing that, like, obviously it would have an effect on Japanese, in Japan. This would have a massive effect in Japan. I feel like this might have an like just in terms of the size of the anime industry in the West, proportionally, this might have a worse effect on the Western anime market compared to the Japanese, because the Japanese one is massive, but in the West, it's already really bad, and it's not
super localized to one place. Like, it already kind of is.
The only competition Crunchyroll really has in the anime space is like Netflix, and Netflix is a general streaming service. And then in terms of dedicated anime, the closest you have is High Dive, and like High Dive gets like maybe 2 series a year that's notable.
I've never even heard of High Dive, I'm gonna be honest with you.
They had, oh gosh, what did they have? They had Oshinoko.
Oh, okay.
Which that ended recently, and I heard the end is awful. They are have you heard of Sentai Filmworks?
Yeah, of course.
They are the streaming service ran by Sentai, I believe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they have a lot of, from what I've seen, they tend to have a lot of nicher but like more passionate series. Crunchyroll has all of like the main slop, but also like the big stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like Sentai, and yeah, I get that. Yeah, so High Dive is their streaming service, basically.
Basically.
Gotcha.
They also have their own. It's still so bizarre to me that Vinland Saga has different English dubs that are going on at the same time. One by Netflix, one by Sentai. And they're like both pretty different.
Which was the better one?
I think the Sentai one was the better one.
I
think that was the one people generally considered to be better.
Which one's the one that had Alex Lee in it?
Oh, fuck. Netflix? I'm just assuming because that he's LA based and Sentai is Texas based.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, Kadokawa. Kadokawa getting bought. A lot of people are focusing on the fact that that means that Sony would own From Software. But not only is it more than that, in the sense that they would be owning also Spike Chunsoft, which isn't as big of a deal, but that's still kind of crazy. And then just a bunch of stuff. But then when you go past video games, you also get into like a shit ton of other mediums that it just makes it so much worse. It just makes it so much worse that it's like it's just monopolistic.
Overall, it's obviously not going to be healthy for the market, but it's not a good idea. I really do, like, I don't watch anime as much anymore. Obviously, I'm a casual fan of it. I always kind of have been. But my biggest thing, obviously, because the big headline is about FromSoft, I just don't want them to sit on those IPs. Like, those are just really, really good games, and I don't want them to have control over it.
Because the one that they do own, they've done nothing with.
Right, exactly. Bloodborne is currently in stasis with Gordon Freeman, so they're probably not gonna do anything with it. But either way.
Speaking of, it was Half-Life 2's 20th anniversary the other day.
It was. Did you see the documentary?
I know it was out, but I didn't watch it.
It's good, and we should replay it and look at the the new commentary that they're having in the campaign. They have commentary and a slight graphical update.
I am still on that cope, considering HLX, I think it was, that stuff from a few months ago. I'm still huffing that copium.
Yeah.
Still huffing
That's
it.
fair.
Yeah.
Copium is what keeps us going, so it's totally fine. Hey Ace, what's going on? How you doing?
Hello people. Hello Ace.
Marshall, you're right. We're never getting a Bloodborne sequel.
Nope.
Did you hear the rumor that the buyout is to avoid getting acquired by Tencent?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
be either.
Tencent is also just buying way too many. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, they need to settle down.
I just don't. I feel like Tencent and Microsoft are like leading this awful charge of just buy all the studios, and I don't like.
Yeah, well, any consumer should not like it, so it's totally understandable. But
Well,
either way,
anyway, speaking of and Sony and uh studio and things they own,
yeah,
um, they closed the developer of Concord.
yeah. Slightly
Concord
old
is
news, but that's
never
just been
coming
so
back.
long. Yeah, no, you gamers, you listen. We heard you loud and clear. We know you wanted Concord. We know you wanted to play it. So unfortunately, you're never getting the chance. Which, like I said, I know it's a big deal. It's very upsetting, but no more Concord. The and this is also a different opinion. It's like it it closed down and it took away a lot of people's jobs.
Yes, that's
Um,
actually the worst part about them.
yeah, so it's just like, well, fuck. I mean, I don't know. They shouldn't have dumped so much money into it.
From
But
everything that's come out, which I'm not sure how much, I don't remember how much we've talked about, but everything that's come out, it sounds like the biggest problem with Concord is the biggest problem is apparently there was just this culture of toxic positivity, and no one felt like they could speak up and express any kind of concern. It was just everyone at the top was just constantly talking about like, oh, this is going to be huge. This is going to be the next wave. This is going to be everything. And it just wasn't. They just kind of decided it was that, and it blew up in their faces.
and I mean, maybe it would have like if it came out a couple years ago, but now, I mean,
The fact
the
that
market changes.
the fact that it was in it started development 8 years ago, and 8 years ago Overwatch release is like, holy shit! Like you can trace exactly, like you can figure out exactly what was gonna happen, like
Yeah.
what happened, and that it was only ever gonna go this way.
No, I don't know what they could have. I mean, they just put too much into it and took too long. I really do think if they would have released it earlier, it would have had some sort of market. But now it's not really. That's not really the what's the word, climate, I guess, anymore.
Yeah, no, this just
Like it's like a pendulum. It's gonna swing one way and it's gonna swing the other, and then the other, and then the other, and it's in a pendulum swing that's not good for an IP like Concord. So, and yeah, it didn't look super good anyway. So
I don't know if this was true or if this was just a theory someone had, but I heard, or at least like someone had theorized, the reason why it looks so ugly is it might have at first been designed to have a much more comic booky art style, because when you look at a lot of concept art, it looks very comic booky and the designs look a lot better. But then at some point they had some turn, like every week we're going to come out with a CG short, and it's going to have like state of the art mocap and facial capture and all these things, and it's going to come out every week. And then they pivoted to an art style that would better show off the facial capture, but it didn't look good with the designs. I don't know if that was a theory, or if that was like a confirmed thing, but I did hear that, and that would kind of make sense.
It would explain that whole look, I guess. But yeah.
Explain why.
I don't know.
There's also the $400 million things where Colin Moriarty on his podcast Sacred Symbols, he talked about how from the people he talked to, they'd said that it in total the game cost over $400 million, which would make it the biggest bomb I think in the entirety of video games. But a bunch of people were coming out saying that doesn't line up with what we heard at all. And I know a lot of people do not like Colin Moriarty. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I personally have never seen any reason to not him, even if I don't agree with him on certain things. But
Yeah.
apparently it has come out that $400 million budget number comes from a variety of factors that can all be attributed to ultimately be attributed to the development of Concord, where basically the game's original budget was 200 million, and then when you factor in the money they spent to try and like overhaul the game in its last year, plus the cost of buying out the studio, it would total 400 million, which I feel like that makes that number make way more sense.
Yeah, because I mean, when you look at it, if the more money they spend on it, if it doesn't work out in like a really big way, then it's gonna have to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what you do.
there's
Anything over 100 mil Concord is too much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
I hope everyone who lost their job lands on their feet. But this is just one of those things where it's like I feel like if you didn't see this coming, if you knew of this game's existence while it was in development, and you didn't see this coming, particularly in its last year, I feel like we're probably a victim or a perpetrator of that culture of toxic positivity.
Yeah, a lot of this is because the guy in charge of it, if I recall correctly, was like genuinely convinced he was making the next big multimedia franchise and wouldn't hear otherwise about it. Yeah, that I think was the case, right? And then they dumped so much into it thinking that it was going to be so good. And Sony obviously has the money to pay it until it loses out, and then they don't have the money to pay it because it's, it was just, they just threw that money into a fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the idea. Yeah, is like this is gonna be the next big thing. But I don't know how long it's been in development, but I feel like there was a time for that kind of thing, and now it came out when there wasn't. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there was something that I think it was Ace said. It's like yeah, $40 in a market that's oversaturated free to play. Yeah, it's like that's not even all it is that it's we're getting a lot of $70 games now, right? It's just like
Yeah, prices of games are going up.
it's just that it just wasn't the kind of game that it wasn't. I don't know. There's a lot of shit to it, but
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not gonna pretend like I know a whole lot about it. It didn't from a typical person's perspective. I wasn't looking forward to it. I didn't think the premise was very interesting. Whatever they
Just
did reveal about it, it just didn't
it
really.
was just a really bad looking Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. It just no one really asked for it,
No, no,
and it just wasn't.
it's one of those things where people don't know what they want until people don't know what they want. If you only ever gave people what they asked for, you would never get anything new. But
Yeah,
there's also a certain degree of like you need to have some idea of what people would like, and
right.
this I'm sorry, this just was not it.
No, and yeah, what Canador said is absolutely true. Like, yeah, this is people suffering from bad business while people at the top take no responsibility. Yeah, it's unfortunate because you hear a lot about how they were really enjoying what they were making. They were really like proud of it. At least that's what you hear. And then Sony's just like, well, that didn't work out. Say goodbye to your jobs. And
Exactly.
it's like, yeah, I can't help but express the same sentiment. Is like, I really hope that these passionate people are still able to do what they want to do, and I hope they find a way to do it just
Mm-hmm.
not under the Sony umbrella or any big corporation's umbrella for that matter that doesn't really know what's going on in the market.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah, I
seriously.
hope that fixes for them.
Well,
That's what I was saying, Canada. If it came out 5 years ago, absolutely would have had a place. But yeah, let's
we
check out
have
the
two.
next thing.
So okay, so we have two ways to go about this. Go from here.
Hmm.
One, one is we can stay on the Concord route, or we could go the Overwatch route. Which do you want to do?
Are you asking me about the news or?
You, because there's news. There's something I can go in two different directions.
Oh, let's keep on the Concord for now.
Okay. Well, good news. Concord episode of Amazon's Secret Level, quote, turned out really well, says the creator.
That was what I was like referring to. Is like in that thing they said, hey, it sounds like the team behind Concord was really liking what they were making.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was an absolute shame or something that it had to, had to go down, but it did.
Mm-hmm. No,
I mean,
it's
okay. Well,
it's just it's so funny. It's so funny. It's there's just not there's I feel like there's just not a lot to really say. This is ridiculous. This is really funny. Where to buy?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It says it says right here.
yeah.
If I could scroll it
If you could
over.
see it over my black line, yeah.
Where to buy Concord? There are currently no available deals.
Yeah, no, Concord is not available right now. You can't buy it. So don't even try. Even the ad that's suggesting how to like buy things can't find a place for it. It's that gone.
Yeah, it's
that
gone.
gone.
You're never
It's
seeing
gone.
it again.
Shit's gone. Nope, not coming back.
Anyway, so the other thing, this is something that it's not in the docket because I just didn't think to put it in there until I decided a little bit ago to mention it. Overwatch is back. Overwatch 1.
Yeah, so explain it, 'cause I didn't actually see that news.
So basically, for exactly 3 weeks, here I'm pulling up a news article about it.
Oh wait, is this the classic about like the regular game modes that they had back in the day or whatever?
Basically, there's going to be a special version of Overwatch that will be available for a 3-week period.
Right.
That basically returns Overwatch, lets you play Overwatch 1 exactly how it was when it first released. Back in 2016.
So that's a Blizzard move, yeah. That sounds about right.
This is really funny because they literally took this away from us. They took this away from us with Overwatch 2. And it also just kind of gives off this feeling of like, oh man, people aren't paying attention to Overwatch 2. What are we going to do? Let's do this and like give them the thing they actually cared about, which was Overwatch 1.
So I don't know if you knew or were following it, but they did the same thing with World of Warcraft.
Yes, I did actually
and they
know
had
that.
WoW. Yeah, so they got WoW Classic, and apparently it's the most popular version. But yeah, it is kind of funny how they change this stuff up and take it away, and then they see that it's not doing well, so they try to cash in on the old version, and it's like, well, why don't you just change the new version back to the old version in such a way? It's like, I guess they don't want to alienate anybody because there are people who really like that style over, let's say, Overwatch 1, and maybe they just don't want to, it's better to have everything available. But what I want to know is, because I didn't pay attention to it, was how to access this.
I don't know.
Thing you pay for, or like, what's up?
I don't know either. If I had to guess, it is a result. It's something. Maybe you access it through Overwatch 2. I'm not certain. I haven't really looked into it. I don't like the fact that this is only 3 weeks long. I think is ridiculous. I think this whole thing serves 2 different purposes. One is to get people to get nostalgic for Overwatch and come play Overwatch and then be like, wow, Overwatch was fun. And then once this goes away, they will hopefully maybe be reminded that they like Overwatch and they will keep playing Overwatch 2 once that is the only thing available again. The other thing this is very, very blatantly about is Marvel Rivals comes out around the time that this is ending. So it's to distract you from the fact that Marvel Rivals is coming out and is free, and all of the characters are free, and has been very well received so far.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Marvel Rivals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, I also think it could be like an LTO thing, like a FOMO type deal. It's like, hey, classic Overwatch is coming back. If you played back then and now you don't play anymore because Overwatch quote unquote sucks or whatever, here you go. And then they can generate more interest. Yeah, it's overall, it's also a like, hey, come back and try that. It's a testing ground for like many different things that they could infer from the success of this launch, whether it's successful or not.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of it.
I
Honestly,
I gotta agree with you, AJ. I think I kind of agree.
what AJ just put, right?
Yeah, about Overwatch is cooked.
Yeah,
I think
I was gonna read
that.
that. Yeah, I think it is too.
And it's such a shame because when Overwatch came out, it was a huge win. It was a huge win for Blizzard. It was the first win they had in like over a decade at that point, and it was a massive win. And it was rightfully deserved. And then they just fucked it up. And they're still pretending like like there actually is a story.
Yeah, it's because they got rid of or because Jeff Kaplan left, right? And he was doing really, really well with it. And then I don't know who runs it now, but after that, it seemed to go downhill, right? Did it have anything to do with that, you think?
I think it especially went downhill when Jeff left, but I remember people were starting to turn on it even before Jeff left. It was I think around the time what I remember before Jeff left, what was really getting on people's nerves is the fact that they very blatantly were being all passive progressive and announcing this character is gay, this character is trans, this character is actually in love with this character, and it all tended to happen within like a week before or after some massive controversy came out about Blizzard.
Yeah.
And it was like it's Soldier 76 being gay is still one of those things where it's like maybe that was always the intent, but there was nothing in the game prior to that reveal that would imply such a thing, and it just makes it seem like they just made that decision on the spot.
Yeah, so I tend to agree with that as well. It seems like it when something is like shoehorned like that, it doesn't really have an amazing effect, or at least the intended effect. So it kind of just seems lazy or silly or whatever, and that's exactly how it came off. And so people are just like, "What? Okay, cool."
Like, no, it's just this thing where it's like this was such. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know why they decided to go the route they did, but they realized they had brownie points with Overwatch, so they kept trying to generate more brownie points, and it just ended up spoiling the brownies.
Yeah, I mean, it's these decisions that Blizzard keeps making about their games seem like something that, like, on a chart might seem like a good idea, but if you don't incur any other factors into your decision making with it, then it's just gonna fail. So it's like you think, okay, Overwatch is about the best thing we got going for us right now. Let's try and milk it to high heaven, right? Like on paper, as a businessman, you might be like, okay, that's how we're going to get our money. That's how we're going to get our money. And then all of a sudden, your fan base stops liking it because it's turned to shit and it is shoved in their faces. And you keep just throwing shit into it to make it stick. And that does not have a good look about it. So you just ruined your cash cow by completely, like it's just shit that looks good on paper does not necessarily translate to how good something will actually go because people are all different. And the climate of how people feel about everything is constantly shifting. You have to have some sort of like foresight about this, otherwise it's just not going to work out properly like that. I don't know.
No, absolutely. You're just right. You're just right.
It's not going to work.
Well,
but either way.
Let's move on from some bad and frustrating news to some fantastic news that I am so happy about. I need to mute this.
For you, actually. I'm happy for you.
I am so happy about this because, hey, what did we talk about? What did I jokingly talk about the last time we streamed?
It was probably like something about Xenoblade X going to the Switch or something like that. I think that's what it was, right? Does that sound about right?
If I had to be honest, I was probably going Xenoblade X is never escaping the Wii U. That was probably what I said.
Coming. Yeah,
and then it was like not even a week later this gets announced. And holy shit, I am so happy. This getting announced confirms like a number of things, and it makes me confident in other things that are not, that I don't want to confirm, but I feel is a lot more confident about. One of which being they are probably going to make Xenoblade X tie in with the grander Xeno series.
Yeah.
Because Future Redeemed, Xenoblade 3 Future Redeemed, spoilers, has some implications that the grander Xeno series with Xenogears and particularly Xenosaga, especially Xenosaga, are in the same universe as the rest of Blade. And the fact that this is the immediate follow-up to Future Redeemed makes me feel like, one, the next Xenoblade game we're going to get is an X2, which I have been dying for almost a decade. And also, it makes me feel like there's probably going to be some stuff in here that will offer some soft retconning in order to make this fit within the grander narrative. This has kind of been a debate ever since Future Redeemed came out, that whether or not Future Redeemed is confirming that X is set in the same universe. The main conflict is the fact that Xenoblade X, in order to... Let me see if I can loop this. In order for it to fit, it would require some like insane level retconnings. And a number of people have written it off entirely because of that. It would require some crazy ass retcons. However, I've always been of the mindset that just because this would require more work to make it canon, I don't think we should write it off, because no matter what, there will be retcons. And I feel kind of justified, because why are they porting this otherwise?
Yeah, no, so that's kind of thing. And I want to add on to that by saying, when you look at Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and how that game was already done, and then they made the original game Definitive Edition, and then they made, what was it, Futures Rewritten or
Future Connected?
Future Connected, yeah. They added on to it, so it is not out of the question that they will add on to something like this. And I think Proto said it too. Remember, this port is going to give us a complete story. The original game ends in a cliffhanger, and I have no reason to doubt Proto, because Proto's awesome and super cool. So, I mean, there you go. Plus, I don't know. I don't look up any information on the Xenoblade games really that much. So, that sounds completely accurate to me. So, and...
Go ahead.
I just think this is great. It's a definitive edition. They're going to make it definitive. I believe Monolith Soft will do that.
Let me tell you this, Will. I know with the Xenoblade games, you are very like, you like them, but they're not 100% your speed.
Yeah, I'm here or there on them.
Xenoblade X is very different, and it's the sort of thing where if there's any Xenoblade game you could feel differently about, it's this one.
Yeah.
Because this one is very gameplay oriented. And so long as you like the gameplay, there is a solid chance you will like this.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you what, when this comes out, I'll head over and we'll play it a bit.
Okay, sure.
We'll do that soon.
Another thing on the whole complete story thing, I'm of two minds with it. One is they literally in this trailer tease more story. Like it's like here actually. Let me skip to it because it's only like 10 seconds ahead. This scene right here of this dude on a beach, and then an Organization 13 member is standing above him.
Yeah.
This is the final scene in the base game.
Really?
Yes, this is the final scene, but it's expanded and it goes longer. In the original version of this scene, This Organization 13 member he's walking towards this guy, but he never gets close. He never actually gets to him. It cuts before he gets to him. So the fact that he's here and he's talking to him and he's about to take his hood off is like
indicates that it's gonna be complete.
It indicates that it's being expanded. So absolutely, there will be more story. It will very likely answer more questions. But I don't think it will actually finish the story in the way a lot of people are expecting. Because when you look into the actual development of Xenoblade X, so much story got cut from the game because all they really cared about was trying to make sure they could make an engine and a game that they could use for the next decade of Xenoblade, of Monolith Soft games. So they kept cutting more story so they could focus on making sure the engine they had would work for what they needed to. And what
so
has
now
happened?
They can finally work on it.
And what happened after Xenoblade X? We got Xenoblade 2 2 years later. A year after that, we got Torna. About 2 years after that, we got Xenoblade DE. A year or two after that, we got freaking Xenoblade 3. A year after that, we got Future Redeemed. It clearly proved itself to be worth it. But in terms of how much story they cut, the way I always pitch it to people is the amount of story in Xenoblade X in terms of like the full plot as we understand how much there was.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if Xenoblade 2 ended when Mithra wakes up. The scene where you unlock Mithra and she comes out. That's where the game ends, but stretch that over the full length of the game as opposed to only being like the 20-hour mark. That is the equivalent story. It is like barely started. So I think it will act as more of a narrative cap that will make it feel more satisfying and more complete. But I don't think the story of X will be over with Xenoblade X Definitive Edition.
As long as they give it the cap and they throw in the little Aegis symbol that they do to connect the games, then they'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be good.
They're gonna do. I think they're gonna do more. I think they're gonna do more. I don't think we're done with Mira or anything else. I think we will be around for a good while. I'm just happy to see Elma and Lynn again. Not so much Tatsu, but Elma and Lynn, I'm so happy to see again, especially Elma. She's fucking rad.
No, fuck Tatsu. That's kind of a given.
Tatsu's fucking annoying. Tatsu's annoying because he was quite literally a last-minute addition. They were almost done with the game, and then they realized, oh shit, there's no Napon character. So they just had to rewrite. So they literally just came like they half-assed a bunch. They basically had to force him in there, and as a result, they just kind of repeat the same joke over and over again, and he doesn't like do anything really because he was just a last-minute. Oh shit, get a Napon in there.
Right.
So he feels very forced.
The chat talking about a lot about do you think Metaphor will win Game of the Year?
I think one of the last things we'll talk about is the Game Awards nominees, and I think that's actually a good time to talk about then.
Okay, all right.
If you guys are cool
I want to acknowledge. I do want to acknowledge chat in that case. Personally, I think it has a chance, but I don't think so. I think it has a chance, but I don't expect it. But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, I'm very happy about Xenoblade X. In other Nintendo news, so last time Nintendo announced an alarm clock. This time they announced a music app, Nintendo Spotify.
Yeah. So
rather than
I'm gonna get right to it.
Let me just
get right to it.
Go. Rather than putting their music on Spotify, they decided no, we're gonna put Spotify on Nintendo. That's all. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna add on to that and say the best part of this entire trailer that we're looking at right now is the ending.
The ending?
The best part is the ending, yeah. You wanna know why it's the ending?
Why is it the ending?
Because it's what you have to do to listen.
Oh, enjoy Nintendo games on your smart device. Whoa, Nintendo Music.
How do we do that?
You could download it on the App Store. That's how you do it.
Oh, that's great. You can download it on the App Store. But it must cost something, right?
Yeah, it says included with an active Nintendo Switch Online membership.
Oh, shit! We have to pay for Nintendo Online to do it?
Yeah! No, this is dumb.
Wow.
This is dumb.
So I could look this up on YouTube and do that for free. But they're going to be like, hey, listen. If you got a Nintendo Switch Online membership, you can make a playlist. You can make a playlist.
Themed playlist.
You want a playlist, bro? You got to pay us for that membership. But listen, we know you can do that literally for free on YouTube. But if you pay us for Nintendo Switch Online, you can still do it for free. But with paying us some money to play online. You know what I'm saying?
So, Overall, I think this is dumb. I think this is very silly. I think this spoiler prevention thing that I'm looking at right now is a neat idea. The problem is when I look at all of the games that are currently on there, and I will say they have been adding games to this app at a pretty consistent rate. Way faster than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like one game a month, like they tend to do with like Nintendo Switch Online, like for all of the virtual console ass games. But no, it's like they're doing it like one every couple of days, and it is pretty consistent. Regardless, a lot of the games they're playing, a lot of the games they're adding, are not games in which I feel like spoilers would be a concern.
Point. Yeah, I don't think a lot of yeah, I mean I could see that. Not much to say on it, but I could absolutely see that. I mean, it's Nintendo.
One thing I will give it that I think is actually a fantastic idea that you could not do simply by watching it on YouTube or pulling it up on Spotify or anything like that is extend the length of some songs. Basically, you can have music loop seamlessly, as if you were playing the video game itself for however long you want. I think that is actually fantastic.
I completely agree with that 100%. And yeah, like Proto said it too. It's like the only good thing in this app so far is that you can have it extend itself and loop.
That is
like with the perfection that video games typically allow.
That's
awesome.
It. That is the only thing in which I'm like, okay, this makes sense why you would have to make a dedicated app for it.
Yeah.
But everything, it's the sort of thing where it's like that, in my opinion, is not worth it, but it's cool. And I do wish this was something you could do in other apps. It's just, I understand why it's not. Otherwise, this is dumb. This is silly. I have it on my phone just because I was dicking around with it. I have not opened it in weeks.
What can you do on the free version?
I don't know. I actually do have Nintendo Switch Online, so I have full access.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I could try it and I'll see what it's because I don't have a Nintendo Switch Online anymore, but I'll definitely give it a shot. Harshal says, I mean, you can still loop music in YouTube, Spotify. That's absolutely true. You can, which is why it's cool to do this. You're the only difference is that you're looking for like a mixed version from somebody else who may not be Nintendo's editor, and that's really
it's not.
So it's like if that matters to you, if that matters to you, then that's the thing. But you're absolutely right. That is true.
The main thing is just the fact that it's seamlessly looped, as opposed to what you would get on YouTube or Spotify, in which there will be a moment in which it will probably fade away and get quieter, and then it will come back up when it starts again. Yeah,
pretty sure you need to log into your Nintendo account. Yeah, like I'll try it because my Nintendo account does not have the online to it, so I will sign into my Nintendo account and just see what it lets me do. And then I think that would be pretty interesting. But yeah, this is pretty dumb.
This is silly with one cool thing about it.
Anyway, which is like, if it's worth it to you, great.
Well, you know what else is silly? You know what else is really silly?
This is not. I know what you're gonna say. This is not silly. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
The Vatican has an anime girl mascot now.
I think this is the coolest thing that.
Her name is Luce.
They got Luce.
Her name is Luce
as the mascot for the Vatican.
I
expect a statue in Vatican City.
So here's the thing. I do actually really like this. I think this is so silly.
Cool.
It's so blatant what it's trying to be, but it's like, you know what? No, I like this. This is silly. I will say,
Dude,
this
image loves it.
This image looks AI generated.
It does look AI generated 100%.
It's the way that the lighting and the texture on Luce looks compared to the Pope. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look like it's actually there.
If Sony buys Katakawa, we can't get this.
No.
They're not going to let any anime like looking things ever go out of anything that Sony doesn't own.
Another thing about Luce, by the way, is she has friends. And when you see like the full thing, like all of Luce's like additional friends and all like the merchandising they're doing with her to try and like get her around, it's so blatant. This is a Hello Kitty ripoff.
Didn't think about it like that, but I
this
can
is
actually see that. Yeah.
when you actually look into it, you get like, oh, this is Hello Kitty, but Christian. Yeah, the friends are just recolors. The friends are just recolors.
Are they really?
Basically.
That's funny.
I
like that.
But yeah, I love the memes that have come out of this. I think they're really funny. I do like Luce's design. I think it's really cute. I just think the whole thing is surreal, and just on that alone, it's kind of funny.
Just when the Pope couldn't get more based, here we are at the top of the ceiling, wondering what the hell's going on at the bottom floor. And here it is, Luce, the new mascot of the Vatican.
I saw an animation where, have you seen that video? In which a priest absolves you of your sins virtually, and it goes pew.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I'll try and send it to you.
Yes,
well, someone reanimated it with Luce.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah. Which it's also not a real priest, by the way. It's a comedian named Dan Henschel who is absolutely hilarious. But it is a very funny video when you just come across it, because it's like, what the fuck?
That's awesome. That's so fucking cool. Vatican wants to increase their Catholic subscribers before next quarter earnings. Yeah, they want to make sure their fiscal year is on top of things. So they need to make sure they get their subscribers in order.
Here, I just sent it to you.
Let me see. Let me fucking see that shit. Oh, that I have seen. Yeah, where he does like the tri-beam from like TS tri-beam or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the version with Luce.
That's so funny. Is there a Dragon Ball edit?
Oh, probably.
There's gotta be. They gotta have a fucking tri-beam edit. Oh.
You can kind of see it. You can kind of see it, but it's been edited with Godzilla for some reason. But you can see what I'm talking about. I'm sending it to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, right, because I'm looking at the stream right now. That's my hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. Yeah, let me look at this.
Did Hasbro pull all money out of future Hasbro IPs? Did they?
Maybe.
If so, that's shitty, but also I kind of don't care. Fuck Hasbro. They don't know what they're doing.
I mean, another big fucking company fucking up.
They have killed Power Rangers. They killed Power Rangers.
Well, fuck them.
The new comic's pretty cool though. That first issue was really rad.
As long as I got Power Rangers Time Force, the TV show that's been created, I'm alright.
The good news, speaking of Time Force, the good news is so for the longest time, particularly in the comic, which just kind of a result of mandates, they only ever really focused on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Right.
This new one seems like it was made with the specific intent of allowing them to be flexible and pull on from various different Power Ranger series. So hey, Time Force maybe. Hopefully.
How about that action?
Time Force and Dino Thunder eventually, hopefully, maybe. I would like that.
I love Dino Thunder. There's a light in the distance.
That's the best opening. That's the best opening. That's not just the standard Mighty Morphin theme.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway. Where do we go from here? Nintendo's
this black bar fucking bothers me. Jesus. I don't know what to do about it. Oh, maybe you can crop it. Can you crop it?
Maybe.
You can crop
Maybe it's just I wasn't there before, so like
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Let me try crop it.
Like crop it, please.
Oh, that's not the crop I want to use.
What crop did you use?
You just go off screen.
Yeah, Power Rangers. Well, that happens to me on the daily. It's okay. Yeah, Power Rangers SPD was fucking rad.
SPD was cool. SPD is cool.
SPD is awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
anyway,
how I can do this.
Anyway, Nintendo Switch successor will be backwards compatible. People were concerned about this, particularly my roommate. But they've confirmed, no, it is backwards compatible. So you will be able to carry over all of your Switch games and assumedly also your digital service, your digital games, which I kind of was not worried about the digital part because Nintendo at the beginning of the Switch era said that we don't want people to have to rebuy their games again. We want them to carry it over into future generations. So we're trying to build a system here that can carry over, and they have repeated that over the last 8 years. So I feel pretty comfortable and confident that, yeah, it will go the way. It will. I don't need to worry about digital games.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that still bothers me, the whole digital thing, and it's so hard to get physical anything these days. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Digital games is just getting horribly fucked over more as time goes on.
Stand it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why am I getting messages? Why am I getting a bunch of healthcare.gov ads?
Because you're unhealthy as shit.
I need healthcare, guys. I already have healthcare, but it says I need healthcare.
We're in America, so even if we have healthcare, we don't actually have healthcare.
I have concepts of a plan.
Yeah. I have concepts of a plan, and for a small loan of $1 million, I can get that concept of the plan.
Yeah. I don't have any way to transition into this next bit. Did you know that we did not know who the hell played Eva in Metal Gear Solid 3 for 20 freaking years?
Yep. I did know that we didn't know. Yep, I did.
Yeah, well, we finally know who it is. And it is exactly who people theorized it was, but also it's still funny to know who it is.
It's kind of nuts because I never thought about it, really. I never really thought about it, but seeing that she was who she was, I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah. Well, it is Eva, the femme fatale of Metal Gear Solid 3, this whole time has been played by Jodie Benson, a.k.a. the original voice actress for Ariel.
The Little fucking Mermaid, bro.
This whole time, it was her. And apparently, the reason why she never used her real name and went by a alias is because she was working on numerous children's show at the time, and her agent advised her that, hey, this might look bad if you were to be on a bunch of children's shows, and then also you are also playing this sexy femme fatale who seduces the protagonist. Which I don't know if I agree with that, but I can understand why they would be concerned, and that's why we didn't know until now. But now we know for the 20th anniversary, and that's really cool.
No, it's super cool. I think it's interesting that what's interesting is that I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I completely lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I gonna say? They need a Little Mermaid gun in Metal Gear Solid Delta now.
I agree. Like
some sort of like bubble gun or something like that. I don't even know.
God,
no, it's just really interesting. Like I can hear it now, but I couldn't hear it before. It's just nuts because Little Mermaid is like huge for me in my childhood, as it is for many others. So it's just kind of crazy. I like it.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's a neat little piece of trivia.
Wait, no, I remember it was Suzetta Minet, the name she went under.
Yes.
I think it was like her dog or something like that, or something.
Does it say here in this article?
I watched the video with David, Lori, and Jody, and they explained it, but I completely forgot what it was. But it was something about like they were like it was sort of how she came across that name, and it was like, well, my dog's name is so and so, or Suzette, or Minet, or some type of shit. And I was like, that's really interesting. So it essentially, yeah, I have to look it up. But yeah, her name, her pseudonym was really interesting how it came about. I could probably look that up real quick. But either way, no, that's super cool that it's Ariel. Very happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's it's cool. It's cool. I like it quite a bit. I think it's this is just a neat little piece of trivia. I hope to God Metal Gear Solid Delta is good. Yeah, I hope it's good. This is my favorite game of all time, and I don't want them to screw it up.
If they fuck it up, it'll be amazing that they could even do that.
Yeah, they had literally a perfect template. All they need to do is not fuck it up and make it look good.
That's all you gotta do. And they don't even have to worry about like voice acting. They're using the same voices from the previous recordings, right?
Yeah. No, there's no new dialogue or anything. It is a 1-to-1 remake. Though I'm sure they're cutting all the licensed things, like with oh gosh, what was it? All of the monkeys, the apes from Ape Escape. They're probably cutting those.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I would not doubt it.
Well, maybe I should have organized this better, because I can very much think of a good way to go from one story to the next with this one. Another Nintendo app that came out in the last couple of weeks is the Pokemon TCG Pocket. And I don't know if you've tried this. I downloaded it. I tested it around a little bit. It's like cool. It's more focused on collecting Pokemon cards than actually playing the game. There is a version of the card game you can play, but it's very basic. It's not super in depth. But it's like it's neat. It's cool. I can see why it would have its audience. Well,
yeah, I know my friends played it, and one of them got the super rare Charizard, and the other didn't, and the other one was mad. So that's what I'll say.
Well, someone did the math, because this is a game where you can play for free.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to know how long it would take you to complete just the base set?
How long would it take you if you didn't spend money? Man?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Wow.
That's
a long game. That's a long game right there. That's a long game for free to play.
Yeah. You get real bang for your buck. Am I right?
You're definitely getting what you don't pay for in that one.
Yeah. No, this is
true.
Totally reasonable.
That's some good shit. Right there. Some good shit.
Another thing is that they will present. Apparently, they will present you with a bunch of card packs when you go to open one up. And it will be like, which pack you gonna open? Which pack you gonna open? And you gotta stress over which one you're gonna open. It's like, oh, do I want to flip it around and just not know what cards I'm gonna get, or like what? Maybe this one will be better than this one. I don't know. Hey, guess what? People think it doesn't matter, and when asked about it, the Pokemon Company did not give a reply, which makes people think, yeah, it does not matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. We are definitely in the era of free-to-play, subscription-based gambling games. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure.
It's one of those things.
Games are becoming too much to make.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know what I was gonna say. I think I just started to make a noise without actually having any intent behind the noise.
That makes sense. I make noises without intent behind them all the time, so that's totally fair. I mean, if we want, we can either stick to this or we can move to the next piece.
Well, you know what actually is being done with intent?
What's being done with intent?
Sega is going to be delisting a bunch of classic games and collections from digital storefronts on December 6th.
What classic games are they delisting, man?
Titles to be delisted on Steam: Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, Alien Soldier, Alien Storm, Altered Beast, Beyond Oasis, Biohazard Battle, Bonanza Bros, Columns 3, I don't know what happened to Columns 2, Comic Zone, Crackdown.
Probably got delisted.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Crazy Taxi, that one sucks. I feel real bad for the guy who tried to be vice president. He was actually the only person I liked that was running.
Like Crazy Taxi.
Decap Attack, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Dreamcast Collection Bundle. What the fuck with that one especially? Dynamite Haiti, Echo Jr., Echo the Dolphin, Echo the Tides of Time, eSWAT City Under Siege, Eternal Champions, Fatal Labyrinth, Flicky, Galaxy Force 2, Gain Ground, Golden Axe 2, Golden Axe 3, Gunstar Heroes, Jet Set Radio. I am especially upset about that one. Landstalker, The Treasures of King Knoll, Light Crusader, Mega Drive,
you missed Kid Chameleon.
Oh shit, my bad. I'm sorry, Mr. Chameleon.
So, yeah, Kid Chameleon. Okay, go on.
Nights into Dreams, Mega Drive and Genesis Classic Bundle, Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star 3, Generations of Doom, Phantasy Star 4, The End of Millennium, Rise Star, Sega Bass Fishing, Shadow Dancer, Shining Force 2, Shining in the Darkness, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, Space Channel 5 Part 2. I don't know about Part 1. It probably also got delisted. Space Harrier 2, Streets of Rage 2, Streets of Rage 3, Super Thunderblade, Sword of Vermilion, The Revenge of Shinobi, Toe Jam and Earl in Panic on Funkotron. I think they misspelled this. I'm pretty sure it's Funkotron, but they spelled it Funkoton.
Doesn't matter. It's getting delisted, so we won't even know how to spell it. Won't even know how to spell it. It don't matter.
Vector Man 2, Wonder Boy in Monster World, Wonder Boy 3, Monster Lair.
Virtua Fighter 2.
Oh shit, my bad, Virtual Fighter 2.
But you can play it in Yakuza if you want. Woo!
That's Virtual Fighter 5.
They don't have the other ones?
No, from my understanding. Well, they might have like the first one and one of the older ones, but more recently, I believe it's just Virtual Fighter 5, which actually, as a complete side note, I don't have anything to say about it. It's been confirmed there is a new Virtual Fighter game in the works, and that's kind of cool.
And if you want to go back and play the older ones, sorry, Virtua Fighter 2 fans, you're not going to be able to.
Nope. Go buy Lost Judgment and play Virtua Fighter 5, including that entire sub-story in which a kid is actively hacking in input lag into your controller,
which is fucking awesome.
That's great. That was rad. Anyway, yeah. All of there's even more, but it's the same games just on different consoles. This sucks. But yeah. I feel like if they're doing this, they might be doing this with a purpose, because why do this otherwise? And considering the fact that last year at the Game Awards, we got the announcement of 5 new Sega games, that new Jet Set Radio, the new Crazy Taxi, all of those, I can't help but feel they might be coming out with some kind of they have something in store for all of these games. And they might just be trying to delist them before anything goes on, because I don't know. This could be cope, but I feel like they wouldn't just delist them to delist them. There has to be a reason, and I just don't know what that reason is. Other than maybe they just don't sell well, which I'm sure they probably don't. But I also don't know what it would cost just to keep them all up.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is if it costs something to keep them up, then maybe, sure, if it's not a big seller, that makes sense. But it's is that, though? I mean, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, other than that, that's all I can think of, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, but I have some cope that maybe could lead somewhere, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see something at the Game Awards. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Chameleon. I'm sorry I skipped over you.
Yeah, you're not going to get this one. Unless maybe at the Game Awards, they're just hey, all those delisted titles, all going on in the Genesis collection. Yeah, they're going on the Genesis collection. That's right, Ace. All on the Genesis collection, which I still have for Sonic, by the way.
Yeah, I want to get that Sonic Origins collection because apparently it's been fixed. But if I was to get it, I would get it on Steam, because then I could mod the Michael Jackson songs back into Sonic 3. Because those Michael Jackson tracks are fucking god tier. They are amazing. I love that. Oh god, I love the Michael Jackson tracks. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is my favorite 2D Sonic game. It's fantastic. I love it.
It's a good one. Also, Harshal, the reason it is what we are kind of wondering is if it's 20-plus-year-old games, that would make sense if it costs something to keep them up. We're wondering, does it cost something to keep them up? Because if it doesn't, then it's kind of pointless to take down potential, money makers. Obviously, it's not going to make bang, but, any extra cash is good. Depends on how much it costs to upkeep it, which is what we're not really sure about.
I'm just wanting to understand, what exactly was the logic behind this, I guess.
Right. Not saying that there can't be. We're just wondering what it is.
Yeah, it sucks about that Sakura Wars revival. Sakura Wars is such a neat idea for a series, and I hate that happened to them.
Yeah.
Especially because it had Tite Kubo or Tite. I always said Tite
Kubo. That sounds
Bleach
right.
Man.
Yeah.
Bleach Man. I still don't know what he plans to do in terms of a new manga, because it seems like he was setting some stuff up a few years ago, and then nothing ever came of it, and now we just have 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah, I heard about that debacle because I don't watch it, or follow it whatsoever, but I know about it. So it's like that kind of sucks.
I just know, like, he had that one, like, that 20th anniversary or something Bleach revival. Some like, it was a one-shot Bleach chapter that apparently ends on a cliffhanger that would have implied a new story, but nothing is. That was years ago. And then there was also that Burn the Witch thing he did, which seemed like they were wanting that to be like his new series, but that also has had nothing in years. And the only thing it seems like he's really done is be involved in 1,000-Year Blood War. So I don't know what's going on. I like his style. I like his art style. So it's just like, I'm curious, like, what is he doing? What is he doing? You know, I feel like I understand every other like major mangaka from that time period. I understand what they're doing. Oda's still doing Oda. Kishimoto is back doing Boruto. So it's like, I don't know what is Kubo doing.
Fuck is Kubo doing?
I don't know.
He needs to buck the fuck up.
You know, there's another question we can ask. What the fuck is Hideaki Itsuno doing now that he's left Capcom?
Blood has left Capcom, and he is starting his own AAA game company called Lightspeed Studios, and they already have one of their very first commissions. That's insane, but we can get into that after the first bit. Is that all we wanted to say for just the fact that he has one open? That he's made anything now? He's
opened a new studio. My understanding is, so it's Lightspeed Japan. From what I understand, Lightspeed, this is actually an offshoot of a Chinese company owned by Tencent. Hey, Tencent's back. They own something else.
Welcome back.
And this is specifically this is a new studio specifically in Japan that he is the head of. And he will likely be directing a new kind of AAA action game, probably in the style of Devil May Cry.
Most likely, yeah.
If I had to guess.
Will create original AAA action games. Currently hiring, so it's brand new, fresh off the table. He's gonna start this shit now, and hopefully it leads to some good stuff.
I think it's really funny how young he looks in the photo on the tweet. Whereas when you look at the videos of him in the lead up to Dragon's Dogma 2, he looked old and like kind of goofy.
Dude, Japanese devs they signed their whole lives away for these things. It's so sad.
Well, what was this other piece of news, Will, that you wanted to share?
Well, speaking of developers and producers that look old because they get stressed out so much with the games they make.
I got more. I'm sorry. I got another healthcare.gov ad.
Well, did you get your healthcare yet?
No.
Well, then fucking start, asshole. Get your.
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna get out my social security number, and I'm gonna do it right now here on stream.
All right, do it here on stream. Get the social security number out. Type the.
You guys are gonna help me sign up for healthcare.
Give me the credit. Yeah, we're gonna sign up for healthcare right now. Healthcare stream.
If I don't get a good doctor, I'm coming for you guys.
Yeah, so he's gonna sign up for healthcare.gov. And on the what is this on the left? Final Fantasy 14 mobile announced for iOS, Android. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. So, Itsuno is making his own company, Lightspeed Japan Studio, and they had a commission, right? They had their first commission, and their first commission is to spearhead the development of Final Fantasy 14 mobile. So they're going to
pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's super awesome. I don't know what they're gonna do with like the monetization of it, but Yoshi P said, and of course he's gonna say this because he's a business guy, but I believe Yoshi P and I trust him with my balls. But he said he just wants people to experience it. He does not want to like shove microtransactions down people's throats or whatever, which I find insanely difficult for him to be able to do because Square is gonna be in charge of that either way, and they're gonna force him to. But at the same time, FF14, while it does have a subscription-based thing, it also does really, really well with its online store, and they don't shove anything down your throats. So maybe they'll get it done, but for mobile, I don't know how it's going to work. So
Final Fantasy 14, is this a game that could work on mobile, do you think?
I graphically, yes. I think it'd be fine. If they implement it properly, I think it could. As for moving around, I don't know. There's a lot of buttons to press, so I'm not really sure. Like on keyboard and mouse, like people struggle with doing it on a controller. Again, this is like end game level, like level 100 stuff with a bunch of moves, but still. Pika, can you be quiet, please?
No, Pika's really passionate about this.
Pika's passionate about it. There's a lot of buttons to press on FF14, right? That's just how it is. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I also, well, I was gonna say I also don't know how they do League on mobile or something like that, but they did it. So, but League also only has like 3 skills and an ult, so maybe it's not that bad. But I don't know how it's gonna go over. I'm not sure at all how they're gonna work it, but the trailer looks pretty good. So
I think
like right here they'll show some gameplay for it.
I will say this does look. I haven't actually seen this trailer yet or any footage from the mobile version, and this does look pretty decent. Obviously, you can tell it doesn't look as good, but it's like this looks like a very optimized. Like this is still it's just the game. It's just the game. Right. It's just like there's less detail in the textures.
I think what they're planning to do is they're planning to do it so that you can experience the story of FF14 without having to do the MMO aspect as much, but you can still do it, which you can do in the vanilla game,
like a FF14 offline.
I think so, but it's going to be online. You're going to be able to interact with other people and do like trials and bosses and dungeons and shit. But it's also going to be a good way to absorb the story as well, because a lot of people want to do that, but they don't want to pay the subscription or they don't want to play an MMO, which is totally fair.
The Chocobo is really happy about this. Your Chocobo is really happy.
It's fun. Yeah, Pika, can you please voice your opinion? What do you think? Is that right? Okay, I understand. So yeah, one thing I want to say is if you know the story, you'd know that the characters they're showing on screen, the promotional characters, actually do have a point in the story. As like their own actual characters, and it's really, really good. So you're going to definitely create a character. Because the characters they're showing are their own actual characters. They implemented the it's actually really cool. I won't get into it, but they managed to implement the characters that were like these promotional characters, like the Warrior of Light and his party are actually their own characters in the story that revolve around your create a character. They're gonna make you create a character, but I want to see how they're gonna handle doing like the moves and stuff. I don't know how they're going to even approach that.
Okay.
But I could see this working if they figure something out, because they're showing you doing a trial here, and this looks exactly like it did in The Realm Reborn. So I'm sure they'll do something, but I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to see how they'll monetize it. I'm super curious about that.
Maybe have they said whether or not they're going to do the subscription like they would with the main game?
If they have, I haven't seen it. I was thinking, okay, if you pay for a subscription for 14, then maybe you can just have access to it or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, that all depends on like how Square is going to handle it. We've all seen Square's financial literacy at times and how hit and miss it is. But I believe in Yoshi P's tenure at the studio compared to what's the new CEO that they have in there now?
I don't remember his name.
Isn't it actually like Kiryu or something like that?
I think it's like Kiryu or something.
Yeah. It's like Yoshi P's been there for a while. They know that 14 is still probably carrying the financial aspect of Square at the moment. Because they said that even 16 and what have you did not meet their sales expectations.
I want to know what the hell their sales expectations were for like every project they've had in the last 2 years. What exactly was your sales expectations if it didn't meet it?
That's what I'm talking about with their financial literacy. I don't get it. But like they've expressed in the past that 14 is currently carrying it because of the subscriptions and everything like that, and also the microtransactions that you can do. But they cost a lot depending. Yeah, I don't know if Kiryu would chance like interfering with what Yoshi P has a plan for. I don't know how that would work, but I don't know. We'll see. You think you can pull crossplay in that thing? Yeah, you can put crossplay in it. I bet you could. Because they do it already with the consoles and PC as well.
Maybe this will be the version of 14 that I actually finally get around to playing. I told you I want to
Yeah.
play it, but I just haven't had the time because I've been busy because I have other stuff I want to play and stuff I gotta do.
Right. So the cool thing about it is you can do the free trial up to level 70 now, and you can do every dungeon with trust, which means you can do it with computers.
Okay.
So everything you can do except for like the 8-man trials, you don't have to pay for at all, and you can do it with bots.
Okay.
But also like me if you wanted to, right? That's the
Mm.
cool thing about it right now, and you can do it whenever you want. 14 is a game that's definitely marketed around just picking it up whenever you want
Mm-hmm.
because the catch up is super super easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they plan to like so the game itself, the MMO itself already satisfies that need for to be able to absorb FF14 as just a story. So I don't know what mobile is going to provide other than just like, hey, you can take it around anywhere.
Maybe it's literally just that.
Probably just that. Yeah.
Just you can
But
play it
either
on your
way,
phone now.
right. That's probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it is.
Well, you know what else it is?
What else? What
Uh,
else is it?
it being Sonic and is being homeless. That's a great segue. That was a great segue.
That was the best segue ever. It being Sonic and is being homeless.
Yes. The
Yeah.
official Sega lore manager has confirmed Sonic is homeless.
Sonic, and it's like saying that sentence out loud is really fucking funny, but like it makes sense. I mean, Sonic's never had like a house except for like one scene in the Secret Rings, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, he's never been portrayed as having a home to go back to. He's just like always running around at the speed of sound, doing whatever the hell he wants to. But I mean, I kind of wish they did that in the movie. Like, he didn't have a home; he was just running. Which
Yeah.
technically he was, but he made himself like a little home. I guess.
Yeah.
But it would have been so funny if he was just running and sleeping outside.
Yeah. No, I mean that's
All the time.
basically what it is. So apparently, the original confusion with this and what led to it coming out is the fact that in the Sonic the Hedgehog annual 2025 comic, as someone who reads comics, an annual is basically each year a lot of like popular ongoing series they'll release an annual, which is just a like kind of like a standalone story. Sometimes it'll tie into something else if they want to make it a big deal, but typically it's like a standalone one-shot story. Maybe Sonic typically likes to do anthologies so it can expand on other characters that aren't really relevant to the last year of stories.
Right.
But in it, they make mention that Sonic lives in Green Hill Zone, the first level of the original game, and it seems as though that was just an error. That was just an error because people reached out to Chris Hernandez, who is the associate manager of lore at Sega for Sonic, and asked, "Hey, is this correct?" And he's like, "No, he's homeless. He's always been homeless." And it makes sense because the idea is he's supposed to be a drifter. He doesn't stay in one place for too long.
Right.
But when you put it as Sonic is homeless, it's freaking hilarious.
That's the thing. It's like it was like you read it and you're just like, okay, well that makes sense, but why'd you have to say it like that?
Yeah, no, it's just Sonic is homeless. Good news, guys. He's still homeless.
Good news, guys. He does not have a home. He does not have a mortgage to pay. He is just totally on his own out there in the wilderness, like a hedgehog should be, right? Hedgehogs should be out there in the wilderness, doing their thing. But I don't know.
Just as an aside, speaking of Sonic, I have a brand new tomorrow. The second episode of the Shadow the Hedgehog month is out. It is on Shadow the Hedgehog the game, and it'll be coming out around 2:00. I'm doing a little experimenting where, so when you go to upload a video on YouTube, there is a button you can check and uncheck that says push to subscribers and notify and send out notifications. And it's like, well, why would I not want that checked? Well, apparently, if you check that button, if your subscribers don't click on that video, it will put it at a disadvantage in the algorithm and makes it less likely for it to recommend that video, for YouTube to recommend that video to new people. I am experimenting with this new one because Shadow the Hedgehog month is something that I am doing really kind of just for me because I think it it's fun. It's fun, and it is somewhat out of my usual box with, Atlas and everything. And I thought, hey, this would be a nice, fun little thing to just kind of take a break from Atlas for a bit, But that first video, it did not great. So for this next one, I'm experimenting. It might not show up in your subscription feeds, but that doesn't mean it's not out there. I will be posting about it on my socials tomorrow, as well as I'll probably also just post it in my community tab on YouTube. So if you want to check out what I got to say about Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game on GameCube, just keep an eye out. Check out my channel tomorrow around 2 p.m. EST, and it will be out. And
be sure to check his channel.
I call the video Shadow the Hedgehog, or the video where I take a mid-game way too seriously.
Yeah, and take it from me, guys. I was there. He did take the mid-game too seriously, but that's fine. Because, he did it all for you guys. He did all those endings in Shadow the Hedgehog, all for you guys. So, if you guys have Twitch Prime subs you want to go ahead and throw in there, be sure to do that. He'd really appreciate it. Help him buy a new gaming chair. He works hard. He works very hard. I've seen him. I told him he's working way too hard, but it's absolutely silly. He told me to fuck off. I'm doing this work for the fans, so he's doing it for you guys.
He's such a hard worker. He's such a hard worker. I went to him and said, Maka, you're working way too hard. You need to take a break. And he told me, no, I'm not working hard enough. And I was like, I think you're working too hard, but you do you. If you think you can work harder. And
you're working too hard. You're the best YouTuber there ever was known that there ever was and ever will be. You're huge, you're big, you're massive. Everybody says so. And you know what? Just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing, and we like that. We like that a lot.
I want Donald Trump to say blood once, like BLUD, blood.
Blood.
That would satisfy me.
At the very least, we get 4 more years of Trump impressions. That's some kind of bright side, am I right?
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, it's also a bright side. Oh, were you going to say something?
No, I was just curious about the Steam DLC change. I didn't hear.
Oh, what's the Steam DLC?
As a matter of fact, you type that, let Proto fill us in, and then what's the next thing you got? I want to see.
Next thing is some Shin Megami. Speaking of Atlas, some Shin Megami Tensei 5 news. Oh gosh. I gotta mute it.
All right.
Basically, they released a demo for Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. The demo is now available, so if you have not played the game yet, you can go check it out. But alongside this demo is some free DLC. We get a brand new demon, Marisi. I say brand new, but she's been in the series before. I just mean new to Vengeance. So it's cool that they added in a brand new demon as well as a new side quest. But they also added a bunch of new demon navigators. If people remember, they held a poll, a Twitter poll, or just general poll to see, hey, if you want a new demon navigator, which ones do you want? And Mothman won out. Which, yeah, of course it would be Mothman. But they actually added way more than just Mothman. They added a bunch of demon navigators. So whenever I get back around to my second playthrough, so I can actually get, both of the new Vengeance endings, Canon of Vengeance ending. Yeah, no, don't worry. There's no, I have it muted. There's not supposed to be screen audio. Don't worry about that. But basically, yeah, it's just new stuff that's really cool. Hopefully, they will keep updating the game in these little ways like this, because this is something that I imagine wouldn't be a huge deal to add, but it's still super cool that they added it.
Yo, Mara as a navigator?
Yeah, you can run around with Mara, and his size is inconsistent with the other Mara that's in the game.
I want to ride on Mara.
The other Mara is scary how big he is. It upsets me how big the Mara in this game is. I saw him and I got scared. Oh my god, it made me uncomfortable.
I'm sure many people see Mara and get scared, probably.
Yeah.
Pretty terrifying image.
Yeah, no, it's spooky. Spooky, scary Maras and send shivers down your spines.
Yeah.
Also,
Did
send
they let
something
me
else
play
up
as
here.
Demi-Fiend? I want to play as Demi-Fiend. Wait, say again?
You can, I believe you can recruit him and get him on your party now.
Oh, seriously, nice.
Yeah, so it's not like you're running around as him, but you can have him in your party.
That's cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm. I believe you still have to beat him though.
Yeah, it makes sense. Is he Fizz?
I don't remember.
Fuck.
I
Okay.
don't remember. But yeah, whenever I get back to SMT5 Vengeance, this will be a very nice way to come back and check out some new stuff. Love this game. This game's great. Probably might be my favorite SMT game. Anyway, you know what else is probably one of my favorite games?
What?
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2.
I tried to come up with every excuse I could talk about Alan Wake 2 last year, and now I have another excuse to talk about this game. Remedy has announced Alan Wake 2 has sold over 1.8 million units. Apparently, they still haven't quite yet broken even, which is a real shame, because 1.8 million units and they still haven't broken even.
Damn. How much did they put into this development?
I don't know, but it sounds like, from how they've acted and from what they've said, it sounds like they themselves are not actually that concerned. I don't know what Remedy is doing in order to offset any like losses and to try and like make sure they can still keep making these games. But I'm fine with whatever they do because I love them, and Alan Wake 2 is phenomenal. And yeah, it's great. Alan Woke 2. Haha.
Alan Woke 2.
They made this girl, they made her black. That's woke.
That is pretty woke, I'm not gonna lie.
That's super woke. This video that you see, because in the game from like a fucking decade ago, they included a concept video for Alan Wake 2 that had the character who in that one, the concept video was white, and then in the final game was black. And that's woke. Did you just say something? You lit up.
No.
Oh.
I said I mean, and that was pretty much it.
Oh. Yeah, Alan Wake 2 is still great. Control 2 also is great. Is going to be getting a free update with some previously unreleased content. Previously released content. I don't know what that could mean. But also Control 2 is going to be an action RPG. And I am very excited for that. Control is great. Very, very excited for Control 2. Very excited for whatever the heck Remedy does next. They are also doing a Max Payne 1 and 2 remake, which will be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
It's what's really gonna suck though is James McCaffrey, who plays Max Payne. He passed away last year,
yeah.
and he is not. They're gonna have to recast. They're gonna have to recast.
Yeah, there's not much they can do about that.
And it's a shame because his voice is so iconic with Max Payne.
Yeah, oh well, it is what it is, I guess. It's the best we can hope for, is that it's good and that the replacement does a good job.
When are you playing Max Payne, or when are you playing Alan Wake 2?
Well, I still have Alan Wake 1 that I've been playing through here and there. Not very far, I'm like on chapter 2. But once I get that done and I get some money and Alan Wake 2 is on the list, I'll be buying it.
I think I just saw that Alan Wake 2 is on sale for Black Friday. So maybe check that. Maybe check that out. Get the piece of advice. I already said this before. Get the DLC with it, because the DLC is worked into the main campaign. So you can either access it through the main menu or you can access it naturally in game.
Gotcha. Also, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna step away for just a second.
Proto, if you're saying don't use AI, or I assume you mean AI when you say IA. If you're talking about Remedy, I can almost promise you they will not use AI, especially if you played the Alan Wake 2 DLC, the Lake House. Oh my, like don't worry. I don't think they will be using AI. I really don't think they will. As for Jam, was she black in the first game? I never played the game, so I don't know anything. She wasn't in the first game, actually. So the character is the character they turned black is Saga Anderson. She is the black girl that you play as in Alan Wake 2 half the time. Half the time you're playing as Alan, the other half you're playing as Saga. Saga is black in the final game, but when Quantum Break came out in like 2015, they included a secret, not so well hidden, it's very, very easy to find, it's one of the first things you can find, concept video for what an Alan Wake 2 could be, because they really wanted to do Alan Wake 2, but they weren't allowed to. And in it, there is a character who is pretty clearly supposed to be Saga. I believe she has a name tag that says Saga on it, but she's just she's a white woman. And then in the final game, she's black. And I can tell you almost exactly why they went and made her black, but it would be a spoiler. Basically, they had some ideas that would kind of necessitate changing her race in order for these new ideas to work.
Is it like an FF16, there are no black people here because the premise of the story would kind of be weird?
No, there's like, there's actually like a kind of like implication / twist that is, there. It's like a plot point where it's like this character being black is kind of a plot point.
Gotcha.
Okay. It's not a major plot point, but it's something that like it is kind of necessary to understand. It's necessary for this character to be black in order for this plot point to make sense. Is what I'm kind of getting at.
Hey, if the story calls for it,
it would be a spoiler, and it's not for like, oh, she's a victim of police brutality, even though she's an FBI cop or something. It's not something like that. It's not something like that. It's like genuine, like, oh, this just makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's a recast. People took that initial concept video as what they had always intended and what it was supposed to be. But no, it was a concept video. It was just there to try and gauge interest and get people excited for Alan Wake 2. And it didn't work. And it didn't convince Microsoft, basically.
Sense that happens all the time, yeah.
No, it was just Microsoft didn't care, and Remedy was desperate to do Alan Wake 2, and the only way they were able to do it was to buy back the rights to the franchise, and then do it themselves.
That'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Anyway, we only have 2 things left, one of which is going to take a minute, and I thought, hey, you know what would be fun? So the Game Awards, the nominees were announced the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be fun to go through and freaking vote. You know, talk about the nominees and we can vote.
You want to do some voting? Let's do some voting.
Let's do some voting.
Can you put a thing up on stream for me on Discord so I can see it in real time?
Yes, I can do that for you.
Okay, cool.
Share my screen. There, should be good.
Okay, yeah. I can't see chat, so I'll be relying on you.
I gotta log in first. Give me one moment. I'm gonna tab off.
Yeah.
So stream, just in case something pops up.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want there to be any kind of record of anything, sensitive.
Private, yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Okay. Log in. Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh, wait. I thought it was asking me to make an account, but no, it's asking me to just verify my username.
Let's see. I have to think about what my game of the year is. Let's see.
Incorrect? What the heck is it talking about? Incorrect. That's exactly my at. Oh, it's this case sensitive. I bet it's case sensitive.
There you go. With the username? Wait, can you sign in with Google?
I was trying to sign in with Twitter.
Hmm.
But it didn't like that, so I'm gonna just sign in with.
I'd probably put.
Well, there's my name. I don't care.
There it is. We're doxies.
I don't care. I've been pretty lax about my name in the past. I don't really care.
This is it. This is when you finally unleash and you
This is the
become
one that
not who
gets.
you used
This
to
is
be.
the one
This
that gets
is
me
where you.
killed. This is the one that gets
This
me
is the
killed.
one that actually gets you revealed in terms of like your
Hmm.
address and all that. Yeah.
Yes, I did see Content Creator of the Year nominee. Be really funny. So, do you want to start with Game of the Year? Or do we want to go want that for last?
Uh, can we do that last? Like I always did it in order when I did it myself, but yeah, we did it
Let's
last.
do it
Absolutely, I
last.
agree.
Let's do it
Okay,
last.
okay, okay.
So, best game direction.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Well, I didn't play Wukong yet. Balatro. I played Astrobot and Elden Ring and all the other ones. I am also of the mind that I don't think DLC should be considered for Game of the Year.
What about
But
game
I
direction?
understand the need to game direction. I mean, it's I don't know because it was more of the same of what Elden Ring did in the base game. I felt
Mhm.
right. I thought it was fine. Rebirth, I think we talked about this too. I think it added just like a whole slew of things that it was kind of like stun locking or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I'm worried about the different subject, but I probably wouldn't be going for that. I was thinking either Astrobot or Metaphor personally.
I would say so. So I have of these, the only ones I haven't played are Elden Ring and Black Myth.
Yeah.
Balatro is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I understand why it was nominated for so many things. But I don't know, at least for this, I would not pick it. I would say either Metaphor or Astrobot.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of them have very strong visions. And
Mm-hmm.
if I really had to go for one, I would probably say Metaphor. I would say Metaphor. It has the strongest vision out of all of these. And it really just nails it.
You know what? I might agree on that one. Yeah, I might agree with that. Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
So, next up, Best Narrative. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Refantasio, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, or Silent Hill 2.
So I think all of these deserve it. Maybe not Silent Hill 2 because as far as I know, it's a remake of a game that came out and that's it. I don't know if it added anything else.
I don't believe it added anything necessarily.
Yeah, I personally gave it to Like a Dragon because I love the story in that. And I thought it was really, really fun. There are problems with it, sure, but I really, really liked it.
So I've only played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor. So here's the thing: I haven't finished Metaphor. I have finished Rebirth and Infinite Wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I have my problems with Infinite Wealth and Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite Wealth, I think it in the back half, particularly with Ichiban's side of things, it feels like it gets too bloated, and it feels a little too random, and it feels like the same attention to detail that the Kiryu side got just was not there with the Ichiban side, mainly in the back half. In the first half, Ichiban stuff is great. So for that, I feel like I wouldn't pick it as my favorite story. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's less so I think the story wasn't good or it had problems, but rather it's more so the frustration and the disappointment coming off of FF7 Remake, in which that ending promised a lot. It promised different. Not new, not the same, different. And Rebirth was a little disappointing in that sense because only like maybe 10-20% of that story is actually different. And the rest of it is like beat for beat just Final Fantasy VII.
The same thing, yeah.
I found that but that's not a problem with the story, that's a problem with expectations. And it's more so expectations set by Remake just not being met. So if I had to say, of the two that I've finished, I like the Rebirth story more. I just felt a bit more disappointed with the Rebirth story. However, with how far I am into Metaphor, I have had like no issues with the story whatsoever. So even though I haven't finished it, I feel like I would have to say Metaphor. But even then, that comes with the asterisk of something could come up later that I don't like or I might have an issue with. It's just as of right now, it is the one I have the least issues with, if any issues.
Like, neither of us played Hellblade 2.
No,
But I know
I
that's a
I
big
did hear
story game.
Hellblade 2 was kind of just the first game again.
Was it? Okay.
I heard it was just the first game again.
Gotcha. Then I would settle on, for me personally, I would stick to Infinite Wealth, not just because it's the only one that I technically beat out of all these, because while Metaphor and FF7 stories are great, FF7 came out a while ago. You told me it's more or less the same, the same, right? With maybe slight differences, sure.
The ending is where, like, it's basically the beginning is different for like an hour or two. Then there is a good couple of hours in the middle that is brand new. And then at the end, it's super it's like, that is this level of difference I was wanting the whole game, but it's all in the last like 5 hours of a 90-hour game. So in terms, so it's like when it comes out to it, it's only like maybe 10-20% different, and the rest of it's just Final Fantasy VII. Which to some people, you know, that's what they would wanted, but I had expectations. And those expectations didn't feel met.
And as for like a dragon, at least in my case, I like what they did with Kiryu. I do agree that the first half of Ichiban was strong, and the second half for him was not as strong, probably because of Kiryu. But they did. I mean, the ending of what happens with Kiryu in that game. I mean, you gotta admit that's been building for a while too. That's been building, and it was such a nice payoff. But also Ichiban's ending in that one, like the not the gameplay ending, but like
the actual
the
final scene.
ending. Yeah, that just kind of solidified that Ichiban is just as legendary as Kiryu in just a completely different side of things.
Oh yeah, no, Ichiban is still a phenomenal character, and I love him. Any issues I had, it was less the character and just more so story.
Yeah, for sure. And in that sense, I mean that like Kiryu is a legend with how he, you know, and I'm talking like in universe, he's a legend. Ichiban is the same kind of legend. I think he's the same grade of legend, just not in a combat stance. He's a legend when it comes to people.
Yes.
Right? He is just as influential as Kiryu is to like combat as Ichiban is to people. I think.
Hopefully,
and I love that.
Again, I love Kiryu so much. I really hope the next game just kind of he's not a major thing, or he's not like as instrumental. I just want them to kind of make a decision on what to do with Kiryu, because it really feels like they decided on we're getting rid of Kiryu only for the series to blow up in the West, and they're being like, fuck, we got to bring Kiryu back. And they 100%. Keep kind of like extending out that goodbye, and they keep trying to do it again and again. And it's the sort of thing where like his current ending, even if there's like a couple of quirks that, you know, a little oddities with it, I am happy with this new ending. And I would hope this could mean that we can move on, the series can move on and just be Ichiban. And if they want to have Kiryu as a cameo or have him play like some kind of like supporting role, that's fine. I just don't want him to be a main character or, you know, instrumental in the same way he has been. I love the guy. I kind of want to move on.
Yeah, 100% like Dante.
I love Ichiban. I want to see more of Ichiban.
Exactly.
100%. I want Ichiban to take over. And then Majima can be over there being a fucking pirate, and it'll be rad as hell.
Yeah, he can just keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. No, I don't give a shit. Just make him a pirate. I don't give a shit. He's fucking awesome.
Fine.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Anyway,
we'll vote for Metaphor. Let's get on.
I'm a vote for Metaphor. Let's keep going. Best art direction: Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Metaphor, Neva. Question: is this is this up for debate? because I'm not trying to be
I mean,
biased. I feel like there isn't a debate here. It's Metaphor.
only because I haven't played Neva.
For art direction, Metaphor.
Yeah.
Metaphor's
only
art direction.
Only because I haven't played Neva.
Mm-mm.
It just looks like it's pretty artsy, but I've never played it yet.
Mm-hmm. It just Metaphor. It's like I just feel like there's not really much debate here.
No,
and this isn't me being biased. This is me just kind of looking at these games. It's like these other games also look very pretty, and in any other year, I think they would deserve it. But holy shit, Metaphor!
No, I also voted for Metaphor. Did you see the characters like pictures, like their avatars are outstanding. It's insane. I gave this to Stellar Blade. I'm just gonna say it right now. I love Metaphor's fucking battle theme. I can't get out of my head. I mean, that's fucking awesome how you change something like that into a score that can't leave your mind. But you know what else hasn't left my mind from the first level is Stellar Blade's song.
Oh, I'm sure.
It has not
I'm
left
sure.
my fucking mind.
It's Studio Manaka. It's Manaka. Their Manaka is great. Manaka
Even
is great.
with Nikke, they bang out those fucking songs. They are insane with that. The songs were fucking good.
So I will fully admit, I haven't played Silent Hill 2. I haven't played Stellar Blade. Metaphor's soundtrack is incredible, but I'm gonna have to give it to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Astrobot's music is good, but it's the sort of thing where like there's mainly just the main theme and then the GPU song.
Right.
And then the rest of it is like, this is good, but it's not like, I'm not like listening to it back in my head.
Right, because you gotta ask yourself, like, what is really memorable in your mind? What stood out? And I think that's what deserves the best score in music.
And I feel like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is almost cheating. It's almost cheating in a way. But
because it's like remaking previous songs, or
yes, but it's also like it's the same. It's like with the original remake, they make like 20 different versions of the same song, and they're all incredible in their own right.
I mean, the Airbuster theme in remake is insane. It's so fucking good. I listen to that in my car almost all the time.
I'm just
the vocals kick in. Jesus.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'm seriously. I'm just gonna have to go for Rebirth. I'm gonna have to go for Rebirth on music. Audio design. This, in my opinion, I feel like I don't have that big of an opinion on this specific category, but this is, to me, this has always been the horror game. It's the horror game category, but it's also the Hi-Fi Rush award.
So I just want to vote for Hi-Fi Rush again.
Can I just vote for Hi-Fi Rush again?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would love Hi-Fi Rush again. But since we can't do that, I really don't know which one I would vote for.
I can't remember which one I did vote for. I can't remember which one I chose.
I think I might just kick a vote to Astrobot just for the hell of it.
I still throw a vote to Astrobot.
Astrobot was, I mean, it had some good sound design. I just don't know.
Nice. Yeah. It was nice.
Best performances. Brianna White, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Hannah Tell, Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Humberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws. I forgot that came out this year. Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2. Melina Jurgens, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying this is kind of my category, right? But at the same time, I only played 1 out of the 5 of the games that these people are in. And even the first one, I've only played like a certain portion of that. But I still feel like it would have to be Melina.
Really?
Because I'm pretty sure from what I've seen of Hellblade 2, that is literally all about performance for her.
If I remember correctly, I believe she won the award when the first Hellblade came out. I have not.
Little I've seen, I'm pretty sure that's.
Of these games, the only one I've played is Rebirth, and Brianna White did incredible. That is Aerith's game, and she nailed it. She did it. She did an amazing job. I have some issues with Aerith's characterization in that game, but none of that is her fault. That's purely just the writing and the direction they wanted to go with Aerith in that game.
Sure. Sure.
But I am also biased. I haven't played Senua's Saga, so I don't know.
No, keep in mind, like, I say it's Melina's like spot, but I also voted for Brianna White because, one, I know how much it means to her because I've seen the whole thing with like remake when it came out and her playing it, right?
She started crying
And
when
I
Aerith showed up on screen.
Yeah, and I know she's got a huge passion for it, and also in no small part the fact that it's the only game on this list that I've played. So I felt kind of compelled to go for that one anyway. But I feel like if I played Hellblade 2, I'd probably go for that one if I had to guess.
So Harshi is saying that Luke Roberts as James killed it. And I've
Did he?
also
I
heard
believe
that
it.
James is the performance as James is great.
Mhm.
It's just I don't know. For this one, I feel like my instinct would be to vote for Brianna just because she's the only one I've actually seen, but also she did an incredible job.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like this really could go either way. It could go either way in terms of Brianna, Luke, and Melina. Sorry for Hannah and Humberly. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll be honest. I think Star Wars Outlaw. I didn't realize Star Wars Outlaws came out this year.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it came out. That game was such nothing.
Yeah, it just kind of came out and it was there and it was.
It
not
came
great
and went.
It was Ubisoft's thing and it was like, all right, well.
Ubisoft's been having an awful year.
They have not been doing good.
All of their games have been bombing in the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
They've just not.
Skull and Bones came out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
quadruple A.
Yep, quadruple A game, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely quadruple A.
Let's do. I'm gonna just do Brianna White. Screw it.
Yeah, go for it.
Screw it. Next up, innovation and accessibility. I'll be honest.
I played none of them. I played none of them.
I played Prince of Persia. That game is fucking rad. I'm a vote for it because I don't know. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is fucking rad. You guys should all play it.
Everybody played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Do it. Do it. It's one of the best Metroidvanias. It's like top 5 for me.
Play it right now.
Go do it. Gains for Impact. I have no idea if it has good innovation and accessibility. I don't know, but I voted for it because I wanted to. Games for Impact. I'll be real.
I haven't played any of them.
Don't care.
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
That's one I would throw to Hellblade as well, but just because it's the only one I know and it's probably thought-provoking in some way, I just never played it.
I'm watching someone play Life is Strange Double Exposure, and it seems
pretty good.
Just kind of, honestly, it's just kind of boring. It seems like it's the sort of thing where it's like, this just, not to say that the original was like some magnum opus, but like, it's just not grabbing me the same way the original did.
It's got its audience, I'm sure. Right?
It's one of those things where I feel like it's just one of those things where it's like a one-hit wonder, where it's like, I don't think you're ever going to be able to recapture the lightning in a bottle that is Life is Strange, where even with all of its issues, there's still something like incredible about it.
Yeah. Well, you know my spot. What's your spot? What are you thinking?
Well, some people in chat are saying Indica. What the heck is Indica? You know what?
I don't know anything about it.
You know what? Those are real women. Those are real people. That ain't art. That ain't a video game. Those are real people. I'm a vote for Indica.
That's not AI. That's not AI. Support it. Yep.
I also like all those women yelling at that one woman.
She's like, I can't fucking take this shit anymore.
I can't take it shit anymore. I don't know what this game is about. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Best
ongoing. Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I did.
Yeah. Screw it, 14. 14. Best community support. 14.
This one was hard because, 14 has really good community support, but also Larian with Baldur's Gate 3 has been doing really, really good. And then I also considered No Man's Sky because, holy shit.
No Man's Sky is the biggest comeback story of all time.
Right?
Like holy
not the fact that it came back in the first place just shows like, okay, we hear you. We're gonna change it. And they fucking did.
We're gonna sit down and shut up.
Yeah, nevertheless, I voted for 14. I think I voted for Baldur's Gate for this one because I was just like, Larian deserves one last hurrah on that thing.
Screw it. Yeah, I'm gonna just do 14.
Hey, it deserves it.
Best indie game: Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50.
This is probably Balatro, right?
This is Balatro. If you played Balatro, you understand. It's the sort of thing where I totally understand why no one would take this seriously, but once you play it, you get it. You get it. I understand why it was nominated for Game of the Year. I don't agree, but I get it. Best debut indie game: Also Balatro.
So Balatro.
Best mobile game.
Best mobile.
Also Balatro. Best VR AR game. This is probably going to go to Batman.
Probably. Yeah. Arizona Sunshine, I think, was also good. Metro, I mean, it's a Metro game, but I haven't heard anything particular about it. So, yeah, Batman could be a safe bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say Batman. I have heard the Arkham Shadow is actually like a genuine, for real Batman Arkham game.
Is that right?
Like, it's not simply just a tech demo. It's like actually just a Batman Arkham game. Cool. And it's apparently really good.
All right.
Best action game. This is where it starts to get a bit more interesting again. We got Black Myth Wukong, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer Space Marine 2. I didn't play any of these.
All of these titles were really good in terms of action. Like Black Myth Wukong knocked out of the park. Black Ops 6, I don't know, but I've heard good things. I didn't play it, but I've heard
the campaign in 6 is insane.
Yeah. And they always go super hard with their their budget on how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Helldivers 2, it was a slam dunk until Sony did the thing. Stellar Blade was actually really, really good too. It was like I wouldn't call it a skill curve, but it definitely took some time to get used to. And then once it clicked, and it was really, really like satisfying to perform well on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Space Marine 2 is just Gears of War. And Gears of War, enough said. Gears of War is fucking amazing.
My vote can go to any of these. I don't really care. You pick for me.
Pick for you. I would go with. Let's see. I think it's either between Helldivers 2 or Stellar Blade because Wukong is in the Game of the Year running,
mm-hmm.
or Warhammer, but I didn't play Warhammer, so I can't really say. Fuck it, give it to Stellar Blade. It's probably the dark horse in this situation.
Okay.
Because Helldivers 2's got its own fan base. Space Marines doing good, and then Black Myth Wukong is definitely doing good. Yeah, that sounds right.
Best action adventure game: Astrobot, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Astrobot.
Yep.
Moving on. Mm-hmm. Best RPG: Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, Metaphor: ReFantazio. This is another one where I've actually played all except Elden Ring. Mm-hmm. And of these four, I gotta go for Metaphor right now. Just honest to God, any Atlas bias aside, I genuinely just think so far Metaphor has been the most consistently great.
Mm-hmm. In terms of me, I also went Infinite Wealth just because Infinite Wealth, I sunk hours into that fucking game and I just devoured like the gameplay.
I would say if not for Dragon's Dogma 2, Infinite Wealth would be the underdog, where it's like this is one I feel like people don't, if you didn't play it, you might not actually understand why this deserves to be here.
Yeah, and it's definitely the underdog for sure, but Metaphor definitely I would see winning it.
Best fighting game. This is probably just going to go to Tekken 8, let's be real. It's either Tekken 8 or it's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
I don't know. I gotta go with Sparking Zero. Obviously, I didn't play Tekken 8, so I don't know.
So the thing is, Tekken 8 is a real fighting game.
You're going off that logic, right?
I'm going off that logic where it's like there's a genuine fighting game, then there's arena fighters, and then there's platform fighters, and then anime fighters. I feel like the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection here is stupid because this is a collection of games. It's multiple games. It's not one.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah, I can see that.
The best fighting game is a category that has been traditionally been fucked over at the Game Awards because no one who actually like nominates these really actually plays fighting games. Yeah, and as a result, they end up nominating shit like fucking Sifu, which isn't a fighting game. It's just a game with fighting in it. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that could use some overhaul. If you're voting with that logic, Tekken 8 for sure. My logic, just what I like out of all these, I choose Sparking Zero.
I'm gonna just vote for Tekken 8 just because I don't really.
Go for it.
This is another one where it's like Sparking Zero's rad, but eh.
Mhm.
Okay, best family. Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire.
I played Astrobot. I didn't play Super Mario Party Jamboree, but I would put Jamboree out of sheer. I did put Astrobot because again I played it,
Mhm.
but Jamboree I could see that being a total game for family. Like that's I mean best family and putting a Mario Party in there. I mean let's be real.
So this
You know what I mean?
another thing we can be real about. This is the Nintendo category.
Yeah,
This is the Nintendo award.
yeah. And Astrobot is Sony's Nintendo IP.
So I
it's like,
think
there you go.
ultimately this is going to come down to either Astrobot or Zelda. I feel like it's probably a bit more likely to be Astrobot. But if there's one thing I want to say before I vote for Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime got nominated, but not Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Huh.
That is a snub if I've ever seen one. Holy fuck. This should not be here when Sonic X Shadow exists. And that game is so good. Shadow Generations
is because of how recent it was. I've seen them do that before, right?
That's the only thing I could think is it might not have met the cutoff. I think that might be the only reason why it's not nominated. Because otherwise, why is it not nominated?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Best Sim Strategy: Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, Unicorn Overlord.
I don't really play Sims or strategies, so I don't even remember what I voted for, to be honest.
So I'm gonna go for Unicorn Overlord because this seems to be the breakout strategy game of the year. Everyone was talking about it when it came out. I say everyone, but I mean like the people who played it were like talking about it. And they kept going, guys, you don't get it, play this game. There's also my Atlas bias there, but also it's apparently just incredible.
Did you tell me to play that game once?
Maybe.
I think you did.
I might have mentioned it to you. I'll be honest,
familiar.
I still haven't played it. I need to play it at some point, but I've heard it's incredible. This was also the victim of anti-vocalization discussion because they dared to make the characters talk in Old English in the English localization. When if you put the Japanese through Google Translate, it comes out much blander and straightforward. And at that point, I just have to say, what did you fucking expect? It's Google Translate.
Yeah. I mean, and localization involves changing things up to fit the area it's being released to. That's part of what it is.
And a lot of companies will actively want little things like this where they change up the dialogue so it's more medieval fantasy, and they talk in Old English and stuff like it. That's
right.
Actively what a lot of these companies want.
And that's what localization just is. It's what it's always been. That's just how it goes.
So I'm a vote for it just because I don't really know these other ones. Though I do know Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. I heard this game is a fantastic tower defense. It just kind of didn't have good marketing and it bombed. But I heard it is really good.
Good for you, Capcom.
Best sports I don't give a shit.
I've for WWE so hard because fucking WWE.
WWE. Hey, guys, go watch the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix. I heard it's really cool.
I was gonna watch that.
I heard Vince McMahon is a rad guy.
I heard he's a very cool guy, yeah, and I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Apparently, when that started development, it was initially a puff piece. It was just supposed to talk about how awesome he is. But in the end,
they made it so
all that shit came out and he got outed. Yeah. So it then turned into, we took all of the footage that was supposed to puff it up and we used it to contrast with the reality of what came out. And it's like, oh my God, apparently it's like, oh my God. It's like, it makes it better because everyone who recorded those interviews thinking it was a puff piece. And then it's like, nope, look at what this dude did.
Dude, that's insane. McMahon got fucking owned.
Oh my God, fuck Vince. And the thing is, it was also apparently just a giant open secret, but he had too much power. He set things up, and he had too much power that he couldn't be taken down unless it was something truly insane, like what happened.
Dude's nuts.
Anyway, best multiplayer. Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2.
I mean, I feel like it either goes to Helldivers or Black Ops.
I'm gonna say Helldivers. I heard Helldivers is great.
Helldivers is really, really good.
Best adaptation, Arcane. Category over. It's Arcane. This Arcane. Fallout's pretty cool. Arcane.
People think Arcane is the second coming of Jesus, and that's totally fine. I didn't watch it, so I voted for Fallout because it's the only one that I did.
I would say watch Arcane. It's actually just incredible.
Even if I don't like League of Legends?
I don't like League of Legends. It is one of the best things I've ever fucking watched.
What makes you say that?
It is just one of the best made, best written shows I think I've ever seen. Easily the best video game adaptation. The music's incredible. The action's incredible. The art is incredible. It is, I don't know what to say. It genuinely, it's the sort of thing where I don't like to overhype things now. Mm-hmm. But this is like one of the few times where I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know how else to describe it.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's genuinely one of my favorite things. Season 2 has been great. I am dying. I cannot wait for Saturday for the final 3 episodes to come out. And we can see the end to the story. That's another thing. It's a 2-season story. 18 episodes, over and done with. Not dragging it out.
Do they like, are they in bot lane the whole time, or?
Nope. In fact, I have a theory that it is building to a I have a theory that it's going to be building to one giant climactic battle in which they just enact League of Legends. They just do League of Legends. That's my theory, based on the way the everything is laid out. But in the meantime, the show is genuinely just kind of incredible. So
vote for it, cowboy. Get that shit in there.
I'm gonna vote for Knuckles.
Knuckles.
You should watch Knuckles. I'm not voting for Knuckles, but holy shit, Knuckles.
Actually, I was gonna watch that, but I didn't. I never got to. I didn't even know like a Dragon this was out.
I've heard it's not good. I've heard it's just.
I'm not surprised.
I heard it's a really bad adaptation and a very mid Yakuza show.
Yeah. Like
a genre show, rather. And then Tomb Raider, I didn't even realize this was out.
I didn't even know about it.
Fallout. So Knuckles is ironically great. Mm-hmm. I ironically love it. It's such a dumpster fire, but it looks like it's such a fun dumpster fire. Fallout is genuinely just a really good show. Arcane is a masterpiece, so I gotta vote for Arcane.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Arcane.
Most anticipated game: Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Monster Hunter Wilds.
I mean,
is there a debate with this one?
I don't think there's a real debate with this one.
It's the sort of thing where, like, maybe individually you can have differing opinions, but if we're talking about the general consensus, is there a debate with this one?
I don't think so. I think it's just kind of that category for GTA 6.
No, Metroid Prime 4. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right. Metroid Prime 4.
GTA 6. Personally, I'm most excited for Prime 4, but let's be real, it's GTA 6.
I'm gonna vote a general consensus for sure. Grand Theft Auto.
Like when you consider everyone who plays video games, not even the diehard, this is no contest. So I'm gonna vote for Prime 4, but I know it's gonna be 6. It's gonna be GTA.
Definitely gonna be 6, yeah. But I respect that.
Okay, Content Creator of the Year: Queso, Ilo Juan, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, or Usada Pecora.
We gotta be honest here. Can we be honest here? Everybody be honest here. The Content Creator
Is there a debate? Is there a debate? Is there a
Jack's
debate?
Bag of Maca.
Yeah!
It's Jack's Bag of Maca, everybody. It's Jack's Bag of Maca. Everybody vote for Jack's Bag of Maca.
Write me in for president.
Write him in. It's Queso.
Yeah. I actually do love Queso's picture here. It's just some random fucking selfie at a Waffle House.
It embodies Queso.
So here's the thing. Of these, a lot of people are like, I've never heard of any of these people other than Pecora. I've heard of Queso. I've seen a lot of Queso videos. Queso, I think, if not for Pecora, I think Queso would be a shoo-in. but I feel like there might still be some kind of like VTuber bias towards Pekora.
I'm sure there'll be a competition there.
I just think Pekora's funny. I think it's funny. I just don't have any other way to explain it, because it's like the last year content creator of the year was also a VTuber, but it was an English VTuber. It was Iron Mouse. She speaks English, so it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense. This is a Japanese VTuber.
Yeah.
Who met Hideo Kojima and was hanging out with Hideo Kojima. I just think this is funny.
That is funny.
I feel like it's the sort of thing where like I feel like it's gonna be Pekora, but otherwise I would say Queso. Queso's also really funny, but I think Pekora is just the idea of her winning is funnier.
Oh, okay, so you're going off that, right?
I'm going off of what I think would be funnier, and I think a Japanese VTuber who cannot speak English winning a game award and Jeff Keighley has to be the one to do it, I think is really funny. I think it's really funny.
He's gonna go up there and be like, "Gomenasai, everybody! We now have the winner of Content Creator of the Year, and it is Usada Pekora-sama."
I will say, I did see her react. I did see one. Like, I was wondering, like, what does she think of this? Does she, like, did she know it was coming? Like, did she not? Like, does she care? And then when I looked into it, what I saw was she just drew really shitty art of all of this specific page. And it was really funny because it's just shitty art of all of these people and her. And that was her reaction.
That's awesome.
And I thought that was really funny. So I'm going to vote for Pekora because I think it would be funny if she won.
Content Creator of the Year is actually Nova Arby. I made 2 videos this year. And that was pretty good. So, Nova Arby, everybody.
Anyway.
By the way.
Anyway, best esport game. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't play any of these games, so I voted for Counter-Strike 2 just because Valve.
Yeah, Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Gab, what's up? This is not a podcast. Gab, who's the best esport athlete? 33, Alex Sib, Chovy, Faker, Zwoo, or Kong Kong? That is how Jeff Keighley said his name. It's Kong Kong. But it's clearly spelled Zmjk.
I mean, what? I don't know. Faker.
I'm gonna vote for Kong Kong because I
voted for Faker because Critical gave me that opinion. Charlie gave me that opinion.
I have actually heard of Faker in the past. That's the thing. Yeah. I never hear of any of the esports people. But I have heard of Faker in the past.
The only ones I watch are Smash, so I don't know anything about anybody else.
The only ones I hear about are Smash, really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just vote for Kong Kong because I think it's funny.
Vote for Kong Kong.
I'm voting for Kong Kong.
The Kong Kong category.
Best esports team: Billy Gaming, Gen.G, Navi, T1, Team Liquid. I think I've heard of Team Liquid in the past.
Liquid does Smash as well.
Oh. I don't care.
Billy makes some really, really good strats for FF14 endgame content, so I like that.
Sure. Let's go with Billy.
Fuck yeah.
Go on with Billy.
Job, Billy.
Uncle Baby. Oh, we still did not vote.
We gotta go back to.
We gotta go back for Game of the Year.
Go back to Game of the Year.
Game of the Year. So
at the end of the day,
Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Re Fantasio.
I'll start off because it is your show. I think it's best that we leave your opinion for last. I looked through these. I wasn't able to play Wukong. I played Shadow of the Erd Tree, but I do not personally like to put DLC in Game of the Year. Didn't finish Rebirth.
I could go either way. I think there's an argument to be made in either direction. I think ultimately they should just do a best expansion or a best DLC category.
Yeah.
I think that would be better ultimately, but I feel like you could go either way.
Yeah.
Apparently there was actually a best DLC category that they got rid of because people were upset that certain DLCs and expansions got nominated for that and they weren't allowed to be in the other categories, and I think that's really funny that now the opposite is happening.
Yeah. Either way, for me, it came down to Metaphor and Astrobot, and I can't remember which I voted for at the moment because I haven't finished either.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I wanted to see the Dark Horse win and say what to Metaphor because I'm pretty sure Astrobot's going to win or Black Myth is going to win.
I feel like everyone is cynically, and understandably so, cynically assuming it is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree that's going to win. And I can understand why they would think that. I am not 100% certain about that. For me, at this very moment, I would go for Astrobot, even though Metaphor is also fantastic. I just really loved Astrobot. And I also finished Astrobot. I 100%ed it. It's a phenomenal game. But I feel like it really kind of, I feel like all of these have a good chance. People are going to be really upset if Balatro wins. I'll say that much. Because again, there are people upset it got nominated at all. But again, if you play it, you would understand why it's here.
I mean, truth be told, I didn't even know Balatro was until I saw it on the Game of the Year, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay,
it is a
poker.
It is poker mixed with solitaire, and it's really addicting. That's the thing. It's kind of like the Vampire Survivors of 2024.
Gotcha.
If that gives you any kind of idea, where it's like, wow, this is just really fun.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway,
what are you gonna go for?
I feel like I'm gonna have to. At this very moment, I would have to go for Astrobot. But in terms of what I think would actually win, I think it could really be. I think there is absolutely an argument could be made for any of these. I think the one that's least likely is either Balatro or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Those two, I think, are the ones that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth of these that I've actually played is kind of the least of them. But then not to say anything bad about it, I still think that game is great. Balatro, I think is just. I just don't know if that's the kind of game that would win. It being nominated at all is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm gonna go for Astrobot at the moment. I also think it would help send a message to Sony that hey, if Astrobot wins awards in the year, it won Game of the Year in the year that you came out with freaking Concord. Hopefully that would help convince them that hey, maybe you should think and change how you do things.
And then that will succeed.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll actually do anything because all they care about is what sells well. And Astrobot sold well, but it didn't sell the numbers that what they have been doing. So
that is true. And we only count for 10% of this vote.
That too. Ultimately, none of this shit matters. My vote don't matter.
Your vote doesn't count.
No, my vote literally matters less than the people who are on the council. But I still like to do this because I think it's a fun discussion to be had. Anyway, yeah, Astrobot. Mm-hmm.
And
now
that takes care of the Game Awards.
That's the Game Awards. Now, one thing I want to say before we move on to the very final thing and we end the stream. Notice how out of all these games, there's one game that is just out and out missing, that many people are upset about being missing. You want to know what that game is?
What is that game?
Persona 3 Reload. Hot take, I don't agree with the people upset that it wasn't nominated. I think people are being a little ridiculous.
Nominated for Game
it's a
of
great
the Year?
It just in general for anything. There are some things where I'm like, yeah, best soundtrack you could make an argument for that. Best audio design, best RPG.
In here.
I can understand it, but I think people are being ridiculous with how upset they are. I don't think it's actually that big of a deal. Ultimately, I don't know. I just disagree with how people have been acting with it.
I don't think it's a big deal.
What I will say is I saw some people saying, oh man, this is just proof. This isn't even a Xenoblade issue anymore. I think Jeff Keighley just hates JRPGs. I think there's just an anti-JRPG bias with with this. Like, this isn't even a Xenoblade thing anymore. This is just in general. Like, they don't allow these. And I'm like, wow. Huh. Hey, Will, what games were nominated for Game of the Year this year?
Well, let's see. We saw Metaphor ReFantazio.
Mm-hmm.
We saw technically Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And what other ones do we have?
Black Myth Wukong.
Sure. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong. Yeah, it's Chinese, right? It's Chinese.
Yeah. Sure. Astrobot.
I don't know, man. Finish it off.
And then Bellatra. You want to know something?
True.
You want to know something 5 of these games have in common?
What's that?
5 of these games are Eastern made.
Like Elden Ring?
Mm-hmm.
So all of these in Game of the Year, all 6 of these choices, you're telling me that 5 of them are Eastern made?
Yep. 4 of them are Japanese. 3 of them, well, depending on your definition of a Souls-like and whether or not it fits into the JRPG category, 3 of them are RPGs.
So you're telling me that argument doesn't hold water at all?
I'm telling you, I think Xenoblade fans are a little entitled.
And the good thing is that's not new information.
No, I'm a Xenoblade fan, and I think Xenoblade fans are a little entitled, particularly when it comes to the Game Awards, because they think there's some kind of like Jeff has some kind of vendetta against the Xenoblade, when really I think in most cases it's actually just a matter of the people who nominate things just didn't think about Xenoblade, because the Xenoblade games typically release towards the end of the year, in which they wouldn't be able to count for that year's Game Awards, so they could only be nominated for the next year's Game Awards. And by that point, so many games have come out that I think a lot of the people who nominate these games just kind of forgot about Xenoblade. And the one time in which it did not actually release in freaking the end of the year was Xenoblade 3. And guess what? It was nominated for Best RPG, Best Soundtrack, and Game of the Year.
Is that right?
It didn't win any of them, but just the fact that you got nominated at all is a huge freaking deal. But no, that's not good enough. It deserves to win. How dare God of War Ragnarok win Best Soundtrack? I listened to that soundtrack. That soundtrack is duty. It all sounds the same. Whereas Xenoblade 3, it has a super varied soundtrack. This is bullshit. This is dumb. Anyway, who composed the God of War soundtrack? Bear McCreary?
Bear McCreary, yep.
A very famous composer.
Mm-hmm.
Who has a lot more going on than just making like really memorable tunes.
In video games, yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on.
No, it makes no. It's just they're out to get Xenoblade, and we know this. Xenoblade is the best game ever made. I don't know if you know this.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but it should win Game of the Year every year.
Jeff Keighley, this just means Jeff has a hatred for Japanese RPGs in general, because that's why debatably 3 of the Game of the Year noms are JRPGs. Right. Also, Jeff literally had to clarify he is not a part of the committee that nominates games. He has nothing to do with the actual nomination of games.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't pick the games.
Doesn't pick games.
Yeah. Anyway,
there you go.
That's all I wanted to say on that. Very last thing. We got one last thing to talk about, and then I am hungry. I want to go get some food, but we have one last thing to talk about.
One last thing.
So, Will, buddy, friend,
mm-hmm.
You remember the last time you were here? Towards the end of your visit,
mm-hmm.
I told you about this game, Vampire Survivors.
Yes,
In fact, I mentioned it a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about it, and I was like, yeah, this game's really cool. It's addictive. It's fun. And I played around, and I showed you like how crazy it could get. Well, Vampire Survivors came out with a Castlevania tie-in DLC, which is really funny because the game is, when it first launched, it just was ripping assets straight out of Castlevania. Like, unabashedly, this is just Castlevania assets. It's really funny how big it got, considering when it first launched, it's awful. It was like, actually, they could potentially get sued levels.
Yeah.
Well, this they came out with this Castlevania DLC, which is a huge update with a ton of stuff in it. A ton of new stuff. From what I understand, it's basically Vampire Survivors 2 in a way. It's like a brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
So you can unlock basically every Castlevania character you could possibly think of. They are all in there in some way, in some fashion. And you can unlock them through traditional means. But one thing that's pretty cool about Vampire Survivors is there's a cheat code mode. It has cheat codes where you can just enter in cheat codes and you can just unlock characters without actually having to do whatever is tasked of you. Whether it be something simple like simply find the coffin in a level, or something insane like kill a billion fucking enemies using this character.
Yeah.
Well, who is your favorite? Who's your favorite Castlevania character? Would you say?
I mean,
maybe not your favorite, but which is the one that like sticks out to you?
I'd have to say Richter Belmont.
Really,
typically.
Richter Belmont. Richter Belmont.
I would say Richter.
Why,
yeah, Richter Belmont. Yeah.
Why Richter Belmont?
Well, Richter, he's just like my favorite Belmont. I really like the character, and even so much so that I did a video once that it kind of popped off. It actually went pretty viral for a bit.
Really?
If you know that, okay, so back in the day, there was a video like on Xbox Live, right? And it was saying like, you don't have Uno, and it's like, you do, it came free with your fucking Xbox. You guys know that one? I did a parody. Yeah. I did a parody of that with my friend Zach, and he was Dracula in that, and I was Richter. I played Richter in the skit that I did, and it was the opening skit of Symphony of the Night.
In fact,
but it was with Richter and Dracula, and it said it was that skit.
You know what? So, actually,
yeah.
real quick. Let me just like play it for you. Chat. Let me just play it for chat because I don't know if you actually remember this. I'm not even doing a bit here. I don't know if you remember this. I actually helped edit this one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because there was one little bit. There's one little bit
couldn't get.
that you couldn't get right, and you asked me if I could help you, and I just and I just did it for. I just did that little bit for you. So
you are a part of this.
Yes, I am a part of this. I am a part of this.
Yep.
Well, here, let me play this video for everyone else so they know what they're talking about. Maybe you've seen this before, maybe you haven't, but yeah, this is a video that good buddy here did. Can you guys wait? I don't think they can hear it. I don't think it's going.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
Is the audio muted on the scene?
Yeah. Oh, I see what it was. It was the wrong source. Correcting that. Okay. There we go.
Everyone has Uno, dipshit. It came free with your fucking Morning Star.
Well, I didn't get it. I have the oldest whip known to man.
No, you don't. I bought mine day one, you fucking flea man.
Well, mine didn't have it.
You have Uno, you fucking dick.
I don't have it, you fucking monster.
You have Uno.
I don't have fucking Uno, motherfucker. I don't have two.
Go to it in the arcade, and you'll be able to download it for free. You
I don't have
fucking
7,
dumb
8,
Belmont.
9,
It's a
10,
fucking
or
card game.
11.
You don't even have to
Or
break one of my
fucking
candles for it.
Uno.
You don't know
I don't have Uno.
It's fucking Uno. It's free. It's free. Fuck.
It's a great classic video. Anyway,
that is a classic video. Yeah,
that's a classic video. It is become a staple of the Castlevania fandom.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so what's why do you ask? Why do you ask about my favorite Belmont?
Well, you see, Richter, in Vampire Survivors, using that cheat code menu, can be unlocked if you enter the cheat code doesn't have Uno.
If I may.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking serious about that? You're kidding me with this.
Mm-hmm.
This is an absolute abomination, and I can't believe it. You're telling me that you can unlock Richter because of a code that was inspired from my video?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. We're
That's nuts.
guys, we're being fucking real here. We're
This
being
is
real here.
actually for real.
This dude over here got referenced in a fucking video game.
I got referenced in fucking Vampire Survivor, and it wasn't even my bit. I just copied the bit and put it on a different format. That's all it was.
For whatever
I didn't even
reason.
do much.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, your version just popped off.
That's because my version was fucking excellent, but like, still,
honestly, the performances
like,
between you and Zach were incredible. Are actually
Zach-
great.
Zach
the
killed it.
performances
Zach-
are great. They're
when
really
I hear
funny.
when I hear Zach yelling, and I thought of like Patrick Seitz doing Dracula, I was like, I have to make him Dracula, right? And of
Mhm.
course, the whole like Richter thing was just something I was like, I figured I could do it because I think I have that voice, and I like Richter a lot, I really do.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, shit, I'm gonna go for it, and then yeah, that whole thing happened, and I'm still working on these kinds of videos today. It's just very, very seldom because I'm trying to find a good flow for it, and I'm trying to get enough room to go back to recording commonly.
Mhm.
But it's it can be difficult. But yeah, no, I saw that on our messenger chat, and I was like, oh shit, they fucking referenced me. I thought my time in the sun was done. I thought it was over, but nevertheless,
Nope.
there's a
Now-
lasting effect that I'm really proud of.
Now all we need is for the Byleth crit quotes to get referenced in a Fire Emblem game. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but those Byleth crit quote videos that were coming out around the time of Three Houses, that was also him.
Yeah, I did those.
That was also him.
There's there's another one, the Elden Ring one, the L plus ratio plus no runes plus you level dex. If you guys saw that, that was also me. I have videos that I upload every so often that do get quite a lot of traction, and then a lot of videos in between that don't. Some of which I'm more proud of than the ones that do, but I guess that's kind of always how it goes for creators, right? Like Mac, like you would say, like there are videos that you put a lot of heart and soul into that don't get anywhere, but the ones that are just kind of like shit posts often do.
Yeah, the ones
Really
where
interesting
I
how that
just sit
works.
down in front of a mic and I turn the whole video around within the span of like 3 hours, maybe. Like those, for whatever reason, those tend to be the ones that do way too well for the effort I put into them, and it does annoy me. But it's also like, hey, good news is I can still put out a video that does well. So that's nice.
Yeah, I'm currently undergoing like an overhaul to my YouTube. Like I'm gonna change. I'm thinking about changing like Nova Arby to Gravesaka and just going under that for now.
Okay.
I'm planning on getting my friend to do some channel art and stuff like that. Maybe get an editor too here and there to up productivity. But the biggest thing I need to focus on is like writing and what I'm doing. A lot of my content is very much like a mixed bag of things. Like if like people came for the Fire Emblem stuff, and then those who stayed, being like what 7,000 people. Stayed for like the content that I create, which is more or less kind of the same thing, right? It's like quick, chaotic videos with just stupid ass impressions that don't really mean much, and then occasionally I'll put up something where I'm actually trying to show off my acting chops and hope that it gets me somewhere someday. Because at the moment I don't have a proper recording studio, so I can't even like apply for jobs properly without having a risk of like ruining my resume, I guess, or my like image for like any future endeavors. So I'm trying to iron out like a situation where I can do this like normally and very often. But every so often I'll be driving home from work and I'll get a stupid ass idea and I'll turn it into some dumbass video, and sometimes it gets a decent amount of views. Sometimes.
Yeah.
And I got some cool videos in the works too, some different series that I'm trying to get started, like that How to Double Jump in God of War is part of a thing that I want to do, where I want to make a series of tutorial videos, and essentially it's going to be like an ARG, right? Like it's going to basically tell a separate story outside of what the character in there is doing. It's just this kid that makes YouTube guides, and his name is like Scott Fellatio, right? And essentially in the first video, How to Double Jump in God of War, it's going to show that like he's doing a tutorial how to do something in God of War, but in the background his dad comes in and tells him that he's adopted, right? So he's going through that conversation, he's going through that very, very heavy conversation with his dad in the background, and then like it's supposed to tell a story. At some point I'm going to have the main character who's doing the tutorials, he's like doing tutorials in different locations across the nation in order to find his real parents. So it's gonna be like an ARG like that. That's why I had our friend Owen voice. I think I named him Uncle Leo. Leo being the what is it reference? The Twin Peaks reference.
Yes.
Uncle Leo. And he's actually a cool guy, not like the actual Leo in Twin Peaks.
Not like the Twin Peaks Leo guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's gonna, he's gonna go on an adventure to find his parents. So I'm hoping I can get back to that soon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm gonna make some good stuff. Good stuff, I promise.
Well, you know what I'm gonna get to?
What?
Making some food. I'm starving.
That's a really good idea. I might do the same thing actually. I'm
gonna go make some food. You all have a beautiful evening. Make sure to, again, check back tomorrow for new Shadow the Hedgehog video. I take that game way too seriously, partly as a joke, partly on purpose. Haha, it's very fun. I get way too analytical about Shadow the freaking Hedgehog. But you all have a nice evening. I am starving. I'm hungry.
Yep.
I am hungry.
Yeah, no, definitely get some food and yeah. There you go.
Okay, okay. You all have a nice day. This might be our longest stream, I think. It's been 3 hours.
We had a good time on this one. That was fun.
No, yeah. There was a number of things, but it was fun. It was fun. There was a lot to get into.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
The next one.
Well, see you guys at the next one, whenever that is. We basically go until the docket is full enough.
Basically, we just go for however long we want to. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.